way past complaining about feminism or whatever. We're way past that.
Well, so when we're talking about masculinity too, and a masculine crisis in the West, what about pussification, right? Or what I would call pussification, where all things masculine are frowned upon. That seems to be a big problem. We were having a discussion earlier with a couple of guys in a Discord group. They were kind of explaining that even men's clubs are frowned upon, Boy Scouts frowned upon. Uh, there is no more Boy Scouts, right? Now it's the Boys and Girl Scouts. There's
Yeah.
really no masculine hangouts left for people. Do you think that that has a massive contribution to a crisis like that?
Yeah. So like I said, it starts off at home. When you start advertising the fact that divorce is totally fine and it's totally an option, and people already have that in the back of their mind with a prenup when they're getting married. Like, prenups are retarded. Stop with the prenups, because if you think you need to sign this piece of paper to protect yourself, then don't get married. Then you're not sure, and also you don't respect the institution. So you're just insecure all around with that, and it starts off at home. So the first person you should look up to, with regards to a masculine figure, is your father, and then you have mentors, and then you have other people you look up to, and then you have these sorts of groups that embrace masculinity, and not only that, but they help nurture it, like the Boy Scouts you mentioned. That's something that will teach you skills. So whatever skills your father can't teach you, there's always another thing. And all of these things are being discarded because of what's known as toxic masculinity, which is not a real thing. But it's interesting where it doesn't exist. So the reason why I think professional sports, is interesting is because uh, the wokeness infects the culture of, let's say, the NFL or the NHL or the NBA or whatever, but it's still a meritocracy. There, you don't see any women in those leagues because it's impossible. And I think that, like, to double down, the best way to defeat the other side is to double down on their insanity. We should say, why is there separation between the sexes? Why is there a WNBA? We should start allowing women into the NBA. And then we allow the
Immediately.
ones that would make it, and none of them would.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I largely agree. I've often said that one of the best things that you could do is allow the female to male transgenders join professional male sports leagues. I would very much enjoy
Yeah.
watching the results of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Um,
also for the conservatives that complain about um, women transgenders competing with women, um, I think that that's dumb. I think we should let them, because women's sports is retarded to begin with.
so
Oh, and by the way, I also wanted to mention before, I have to be very clear. This also started, this whole masculinity crisis started to really happen over 100 years ago when we allowed women to vote. And I am anti-women voting, like Ann Coulter. Ann Coulter is anti-it. I don't hate women. I think that the political world is very hype. It's war. Every day it's war. Like when you see women try to keep up with men in, let's just say, Twitter, in the political world of Twitter or whatever, it's they always end up leaving. Like, something will happen where they always end up leaving because it's too combative for them. Like, Lauren Southern left. I'm friends with Lauren. She left and then she came back, but she's not as strong as she used to be. I know other people personally that weren't as big as Lauren, but they left, and they want to settle down and get married and have kids. And a lot of them, like they did with the universities, like women way back when went to universities to not really to learn or get a career after, but to find a husband. And I think that's what they're doing in the political world. They're almost LARPing, like they pretend like what we're talking about or whatever the topic of the world is. And but they always abandon it because it's never really for them, and they know that. And with regards to, like, women in power, it's usually they're usually way more vindictive than men. I mean, did you see that clip of the Prime Minister of New Zealand a few days ago,
I
where
did.
they asked her, like, aren't you creating two different classes of people with the vaccinated and the unvaccinated? And she goes, yeah, I am. Yeah, and it's like I would rather have Joseph Stalin be in charge, because you know where he stands, and you know he's not trying to sell you rainbows and puppies and sunshine or whatever, and then insert communism. He was just inserting communism, and it was pretty straightforward how evil he was. So they do this weird thing, and that's kind of like what the feminized world has become. It's which we do right now. We lived in a very hyper feminized world, and so there's a huge imbalance right now with everything, and it stems from. That's why this is an important topic, because it kind of this is like the beginning of the madness that we're experiencing now. And I'm definitely not saying women are evil. It's just that they inherently are nurturers, and when you start trying to implement that character trait into the political world, it doesn't mesh very well. It helps with raising children, teaching children, and all of that, but not in like caring about millions of people, because it's actually impossible to care about millions of people. I don't know if what I said made sense, but I'm going to stick to it.
No, it actually made perfect sense. When we're backing up, one of the things that you said, though, was you were talking about marriage and how a prenuptial agreement isn't a great idea. Doesn't it seem to you now that young men are terrified about getting married?
Yeah.
And losing, most of everything that they built within a 10-year span, knowing how much women initiate divorce? Why would a prenuptial agreement be a bad idea at that point, do you think?
Because, okay, I'll give you a couple reasons, but first and foremost, maybe don't get married with the government. Maybe get married with your church or your religion or whatever, and then make it a religious ceremony rather than a bond between you, your wife, and the government. Maybe that's the answer. I mean, right now, the answer to gay marriage is government shouldn't be involved to begin with. Let the religious institutions handle that. But then again, there's like countries like Hungary that they encourage marriage, and they give them tax breaks because they want their own babies made. They don't import people from other countries like we do. But on the other hand, with the prenuptial thing, something I've noticed with young people is they kind of like everyone else with their misery and their miserable politics, is even people on our side, they double down on what makes them miserable. Like they're like, oh, I'll marry her and then she'll change. No, she won't. And not only that, but we've almost been taught not to pay attention to the red flags we see. It's like people have that's kind of like what the school system does, is it kind of teaches you to ignore your gut instinct. I would take my gut instinct over anything a scientist tells me any day of the week. Like, I'm not going to mention specifically what right now because I don't want you to get banned, but you probably know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
But people have been ignoring the red flags they see, and I think that's a major problem. One of the upsides of dating many people when you're young, I'm not really saying sleeping around, but dating many people, is you kind of get an idea of after time what kind of person you like and what kind of person you don't like. And again, people keep gravitating to the things that they make them miserable, and I don't know why. Like I said, it stems from probably not having a father or father figure to teach them that the way, really.
You think that there's a lot of embracing of materialism? A big part of having a family is understanding that you can't be too attached to materialism, as most of your resources are going to go to your wife and your children. Do you think that this kind of rampant Western obsession with material goods is a big part of the problem?
Toy cleaner.
Donated $200. Brian is the Korean girl from the bow video. She definitely looks like she gives great bow. Be a great time for the panel to comment on submitting in a relationship.
Wait, quick, and then we'll go back to my question. So, would you guys be down? Are you submissive to your boyfriend?
Yes.
If you have one? You're starting with Kiko, going around the table.
Am I submissive to my boyfriend?
Are you submissive to your boyfriend?
Define submissive.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
What do you mean?
Like if he's like, I need to see you bow. Would you?
Oh, you love the bow.
Should we do we want do the bow video? Should we pull up the bow video? Or give me a heads up. No. Well, let's just see the bow.
I do have a
I just want to see the bow
comment on
really quick. We'll see the bow.
So many pictures.
Pull up the bow.
I would love to comment on that.
Okay. All right. Like for example, do you follow his lead?
Yes. I do follow my boyfriend's lead.
Okay. All right. The bow of it. Yes, we're gonna do the bow.
Would I bow in
We're just
front
gonna
of
watch
him?
the
No.
first
Not
part of it.
bow to
So
my
guys, here's the bow. Check out the bow. This is boom.
Beautiful.
Wait, one more. Play it again. Rewind.
beautiful.
Rewind. Play it again. Play it again. Boom. One more time. Boom. Oh my God. Huge.
In the new
Huge.
year, you're gonna let
I think
this
that's a
video
cultural
go,
thing
Ryan?
too, though.
I think I'm gonna
Yeah,
play
that's what I wanted
So
to bring
my
up.
question
Like,
for you
I will
guys,
curtsy, I
what-
will dip, but
what-
that
you-
strategic like one, that's a cultural thing, and I just
Yeah.
feel like it's kind of like
You-
that specific.
Are you saying that would be cultural appropriation? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying like I would be so down to like bow
Okay.
to my man, but in that specific way, I feel like
You
it's-
gotta speak into the microphone, please. Would you bow, Kiko?
No.
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 So,
That is so random. Why would I bow?
what if he's like, it's my thing?
I'd say no.
Okay, all right. All right.
I'll take my dude's boots off every time he comes home. That's my
Would you?
equivalent.
Would you?
Fuck no.
No. No.
Wait, what?
Yes.
I think Eastern and Western culture is different. Like, if my boyfriend wanted me to, that's fine, but it's not. We live in a Western country, so it would be culturally weird. But if we were living in Korea, then it actually would be like culturally appropriate to bow to people that are either older than you or maybe higher in ranks in their work or education. So,
Sure.
if we lived in Korea, maybe, but we live in America and the culture here is not bowing to each other. We usually shake hands here. So maybe I will greet him with the shaking hand.
Not even a kiss
I like
and a
that.
hug.
Priya, what about you?
I will happily submit to my partner in every appropriate way, but I will not be bowing.
No bow. No bow. I don't know. It's crazy to me because like you got like a girl will let a guy on a first date, like you'll fuck a dude on the first date. You might even, I'm gonna be a little vulgar here. You might let him. I want. What's the most
Ejaculate?
a delightful way to? You might let a dude blast on your face, but you won't bow for him.
Okay, well, I
You
never
know-
said that would be happening
I'm not
either.
saying I'm not saying it's you, but like a girl would sooner let a man, you know, on the face than do a little bow. You know what I mean?
I object to any women doing that in the
Would-
first place.
The bow or the other
No,
thing?
well,
Some women are
that-
into it.
No.
One time I had a girl ask me to do it. I was like, I'd rather not.
On her
I mean,
face?
huh?
On her face?
Yeah, she wanted it. On the,
Oh, wow. That's
especially
I was like-
especially in the context
That's a
that you
porn
just
star finish.
described.
No, she wanted it. I was like,
She watches too much porn.
maybe one day, but I was like, not tonight. So wait, going around the, are you guys into any of you into being choked?
Yeah.
Here, who just yes, okay, she's proud of it. She's
Who?
show,
Who said
here,
they were proud of it?
Oh, I'm not.
right here. Look, she's
Wait, what?
here. Going starting with Kiko. Are you?
I got
No comment.
No, I don't know how to
It's
answer
okay.
this. I don't want to answer it.
I'll answer it. I'm not into getting choked. Please don't choke me.
Oh, okay.
Watch out. That was easy, right? But maybe it's the case.
No, I don't want to like pass out.
Yeah, but there's different levels of choking when you're being fucked.
There's like a
Like, not like I can't fucking breathe. Like,
Yeah.
no, get the fuck off of me.
I think that's very dangerous.
It is.
Some people do it wrong and then it collapses certain areas.
Oh,
Yeah, you're not supposed to
Yeah.
push the trachea.
oh, we got
Butler donated $200.
Oh my
Bangs,
God.
you can't buy, you risk one of your herpes sores popping open and splatting all over the floor.
He said
BTW
every
nasally
show.
voice is a common
what?
side
What,
effect
Nick?
of the Great Plague. You should seek a specialist. #herpes.
Who is he talking
Hashtag. Well, there's more.
yeah. We're not gonna.
No.
Or two.
He's just looking for a reaction from you.
I feel like we didn't really get into what submission means, though.
Oh yeah, we
I'd like
can.
to actually know what that means.
Wait,
what does
but-
submit
Yeah.
mean?
What can we
Just
go
going around the
further into
table,
depth
like,
with that?
do you like to be drunk?
Oh yeah. I don't know why, but the idea of, oh god, I'm not gonna go. Oh fuck.
You like to be dumb.
It's like if I was gonna like die in that moment, I'm gonna like die getting like dick down by the best dick ever. It's just like I don't know. And then there's one time. Oh, can I be like descriptive, but not too descriptive. I don't want to. Oh, I'm not going to share that. No.
Just slightly share it.
Okay. Well, one of the times where me and my guy were doing it, he grabbed me, like he's behind me, and he grabs me by the throat. And he's like, "Sometimes I want to fucking kill you," and it was so hot. I loved it.
I'm not gonna lie.
I loved
love
it.
that too.
Yeah.
I am not gonna lie.
I would be running.
No, because I know myself.
She's a runner. She's a track.
I know
Actually,
myself.
here, really quick, I'll just address the freaking we're not going to pull it up, but first off, I don't think I've ever even talked about being stoic or holding frame on this channel. You got me confused with somebody else. Those are not words that I think have ever left my mouth.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do think being stoic is good, but like, put anybody else in that position, they're gonna be like super flustered and be like, the fuck is this? Is some weird psycho shit. So how do you deal with a fucking raccoon fake whatever that shit was? So okay, let me pull this one up. We have Showtime Sim. You can't blame me, her. It's not her fault. She was a 25-year-old child. I'm assuming this is the...
No, he's talking about Kitty. Kitty story.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it. And then let me just see if we have here... Hold on one sec, guys. I'm going to pull up Nickelodeon. Brian, don't apologize for others' misdeeds. You're great. Sorry, I'm a little behind. Am I on enhancements too, though? I turn off Lord of the Ring and watch your stream, but I still see goblins. JK, buy some pizza for the girls. Yeah, actually, maybe we'll get some pizza delivery after the show for everybody. Yeah, we'll get some food for
Thanks,
everybody.
Nickelodeon.
After the show. No, can somebody?
I've never been fed by this show ever.
Yeah, shortly before the ends, can you guys just remind me? We'll get some food going.
I can do that.
Okay, cool.
Nickelodeon.
All right, let's see here. I think we're caught up on the chats. So Grid's chat was for the panel to comment on submitting in a relationship. And Andrew, you wanted them to define.
Yeah, well, there's been a trend that I've noticed every time I've been on whatever, that the women say that they are willing to be in a submissive relationship, but then when we figure out what that means, it doesn't actually mean submission at all. So now maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe the trend will be bucked here, but I'm just wondering if we were to go around and ask what submission means, I'd kind of like to know what that means to you.
To me, submission means going to my husband, or what the title is would be my boyfriend right now, first for decisions, going to him for guidance, and what it comes down to, I still like us having a conversation about things, but he makes the ultimate decisions.
And what if he doesn't want to have a conversation, though?
It depends. I think it depends on what it's about. So if it's something financial that I've never touched or dealt with before, then yeah, I might not need to know about it. But if it's a significant decision about our children per se, and if I'm a stay-at-home mom, I would like to have a decision on what my children are doing, because I'm around them more than he is. So I feel like I should have a say before a decision is ultimately made.
Would he have ultimate authority, though, on what decision is made, even if you disagree when it comes to the children?
Honestly, probably, because I usually don't care that much when it comes to about anything. But
and what about finances?
Yeah, unless he's showing an issue of being not able to handle his own finances, which means I probably wouldn't be with a man like that to begin with. I hope to be with somebody where I don't really have to worry about that stuff.
Well, let's assume for a second that you're with a man who shows that he's very responsible with finances, but then he starts making expenditures on things that you don't like and that you don't think are very pertinent to the household. For whatever reason, maybe it's a new video game console or something that you think is ridiculous, but he likes for whatever reason, and you don't like how he's spending the money. What would you do then? Would you still allow him to lead even if he's spending money on things which you consider to be frivolous?
That's a great question. I think at that moment, probably my first reaction to be like how the example you gave, say if he went and bought an expensive gaming device that I didn't think was necessary, I would ask him to spend the same amount on something that I wanted, maybe a purse or something, and if he said no.
What if he didn't have it?
he didn't have the money to be spending.
Yeah,
spent the money.
he had the money to spend on the gaming device, but he didn't have any money to buy you anything. He took the money which was saved and he bought the gaming device.
Why does it have to be tit for tat?
Then we would definitely be having I would not be okay with that. At that point, I don't want to ever say like, oh, divorce, but I would definitely be like, we need to have conversations about this because you're going to run our family into bankruptcy. And it's not even about me at that point, it's about my family. You're not going to ruin my child's futures because you want to be selfish on a gaming device. That means we need to take a step back and refocus our lives and see what's really important because you're getting too materialistic at that point.
Well, what if in this particular case he buys the gaming device because that's the money that you guys had saved for whatever frivolous spending, but there was none left over for you. He just spent it on himself, and you didn't feel like that was fair because you do more work than he does.
And then it's my turn next time.
Yeah, and I think like if you're submitting to someone to be the leader of the household, then that means that you can evaluate their intelligence and their ability to apply that intelligence to specific situations and whatever problems may fall in the family. You're choosing to submit to that person, whether it's a man or a woman, whoever in the relationship, because you know that they are capable of solving problems, and not just solving problems, but also prioritizing the family unit before themselves and their like selfish desires.
Well, that sounds nice, but there's a problem with that too, which is that you could enter in marriages have rough patches which can last years. Right? They can last not months or weeks, but years, rough patches. So they could start with all of those qualities. But then suddenly they have kind of abrupt shifts and they stop doing those things that made you submit to them initially because you chose to, because you thought they were doing something for you. So you're submitting because you think it's beneficial to you to submit. That's why you're doing it. But when it stops becoming beneficial to submit, is that when the threshold breaker is and you say, hey, look, I'm not going to submit to you anymore?
Well, I mean, yeah, if being a completely submissive means it's going to drive my family to bankruptcy, obviously, no, I'm not going to just watch that happen. I want to give them the chance to take on that responsibility, own it. And I'm not saying just one hiccup, it's all over, but like it could be the same thing as if my man's the sole income and he gets injured or can't get work or can't go on disability, I might have to step up and go to work and do those things while he can recover. It doesn't change our whole dynamic. It's just we are a unit together, and sometimes we might have to step up and help each other because we can't fulfill our own duties at that time. That's what marriage is about.
But you're not a unit together. You're submissive and he's the head, right?
Well, you can submit and still have a sense of logic. You can still submit and be like, oh, okay, this man is spending all of our money on video games. I don't think that's logical. You can still submit and have the logical reasoning of a person that's responsible for other people's lives, such as children.
Yeah, how is that submission?
Andrew, so are you saying then stepping up to the household when it is needed is not submissive? I mean...
No, I didn't say anything. I'm asking a series of questions to try to figure out which your guys' kind of standard for what submission is and who is the head of the household and who is not, based not on whether or not you make them the head of the household when it's convenient for you to do so versus when it's convenient for you not to do so. That's what the questions are designed to figure out.
So conveniency, that is your main question. Conveniency.
Well, I think that when you reduce it, you find out that yes, it's more about what is good for you versus, so you're only submitting because you think it's good for you. You're not submitting for some other reason than because
what
you
is the
think
other
that
reason
that's good
to
for
you? What is the other reason to you, if I don't mind asking?
Well, submission generally would have a religious connotation around it. You would believe that your husband is the head of the family and that you're part of the body. So how it would work inside the church, they would say that the representation of the leadership of the church is Jesus Christ, and you as the head of the family represent the Christ head, and the woman represents the body of the church. So in this case, the head of the household, just like the head of the church, is Jesus Christ, so the man is the head of the household. So the submission there would come from a leaning in faith in God that you chose correctly. Even if you have rough patches, you still stay submitted. In this particular case, it always seems to me like it's just convenience-based.
Would you say that the woman would have to I'm just going to say this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but worship the man almost? Would you say that?
No.
Like, are you saying that? No?
No.
Okay, then never
Haley,
mind.
what would you do
What?
if your man decided to like start blowing all his money in your marriage? How would you go about that?
I mean, especially if we have kids involved, that's going to be the number one priority. I would like to say that I do believe that, like, who I'm choosing to marry also, I do align with the Christianity, so I do see that. And but yeah, if it's going to literally take away from my children, but like I would hope that I would never choose somebody that like, because when I go into that relationship, I'm going to be already trying to pick somebody who I want on my team, but as my captain. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna move the conversation on just a little bit here. Just because I got to redirect a little bit, but. I want to bring it to Lala over here. You said that you consider yourself more conservative.
Yes.
But which one of you said you're a professional attention whore?
I'm a contradiction.
So you consider yourself more conservative, but you do camming. I assume that's nude, correct?
Mm-mm. Primarily not. I'm wearing
Is
clothing.
it full?
I don't get naked
there's no
in public chat. And I usually
repeat that.
I don't get naked in my live stream.
I thought you said you're public.
Yeah, there's public chat. There's also private chats, but I don't do a lot of those. I don't do them.
But you do
hardly
do
ever.
private. They'll pay. So the viewers they can pay to bring a private.
Very few and far between.
But
I really have to make
you do get nude.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you said you consider yourself more of a conservative. You aren't conserving.
I meant
your titties.
Oh,
that's
heck
for
no.
sure. The titties are not conserved.
Mm-mm.
If the titties are out, they're not conserved.
No,
I'm just saying.
Well, what does conservatism mean to you?
It was more of like a political thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I suppose.
They just like vote Republican means conservative to you.
No, I've just been
Basically.
called that by so many people when they're like, "Well, you voted for Trump."
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
I guess her politics are conservative.
Yes.
Perhaps your social leanings are more.
I don't think
progressive,
sex
I
work
guess.
is good.
You literally hold on.
I know.
You do sex work.
I know that.
She could
I know
do it and
that.
not think it's a good thing.
I don't think it's good for women. I don't think it's good for.
I suppose that's fair.
Yeah.
How do you
I don't think I'm gonna have kids, so I don't have to embarrass them.
Yeah, but do you think that it's common for people to practice and engage in things which they think are bad if other options are available to them?
I mean, I don't have that many options available to me with my situation, but I'm not gonna like use that as an excuse. It's just.
What? Hang on. How could that possibly be true that no other option is available?
I have no vehicle. I live 50 miles away from like the nearest city. Like there's no jobs where I live. I used to have
Those
one.
seem like easy conditions to remedy.
It's not that simple.
It sounds simple. It sounds like you would move to where the work is and you would move away from the conditions that you're in. I'm guessing that if you're stripping or taking your clothes off for money, that you make enough money where you can probably move towards a place where you no longer have to do that.
I spend the majority of my time in my public stream just talking to people, talking to guys, and just hanging out with them. Wearing clothing. Sometimes I'm painting while I'm doing that. I could
except
be streaming on
when you're not, right?
Well, no, it's really like for the last year and a half, it's just been like non-nude stuff. If I want to,
not a single piece of nudity.
No, I've never said that. No, I have stuff that's been in the past, and I kind of wanted to retain my self-respect, I guess, within my minimum level of self-respect, I guess.
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you identify yourself as conservative politically.
Yeah.
What does being conservative mean to you? Like, how do you define that?
I think the American family is dying. I really think that we need both parents in a household.
Nick, we can do a split with this one.
Oh, I think we need both parents in a household. Men are becoming weaker, and women are. I don't like feminism. I think it's absolutely destroying everything. I think it's like a slippery slope to communism. And
Do you think we should outlaw sex work?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't necessarily think my choices in life have been great, but I've kind of accepted the consequences that come with that. Like, I'm probably not going to get married. I'm probably not going to have kids, but that's what I was dealt in life by myself. I did those choices because, like, my dad's a cop, okay? So I had to rebel super hard as a kid because I felt like I needed to, since I was trying to test them. So.
Because he was a cop?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but would you support outlawing sex work?
No. No.
Why not?
Well, okay, this is a joke. Frank Zappa said it. Sex work should be made legal and keep it near the politicians because they need it most, I guess. But
no one needs sex work.
It's a joke. Frank Zappa's never mind.
Yeah, I know who Frank Zappa is, but that aside, the question remains: if you have even conservative politics, why wouldn't you want to outlaw sex work? Is it just simply because you, of course, make gains in your life by doing sex work?
Wait, say that again?
Is the reason you don't want it outlawed is because you do it?
I don't want it to be like open. I honestly don't think sex work's that great. I don't. I said I'm contradictory about it. I don't think it's...
Why not stop?
Because money. And I'm not doing the things that I do lately are just what I've said. I paint, I'm wearing clothing, I'm just hanging out. I've been told that I should stream on YouTube, but I would get banned for what I'm talking about a lot of the time. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me move it on a little bit.
Oh, I got one more thing to say,
sure.
Actually.
Okay.
I honestly have a problem with all these girls who have gone onto platforms like Twitch, and they're doing this adjacent...
Yeah.
Yep. And so it's like, take it the hard way. Go on a cam site if you're going to try to do stuff like that, because it's not okay to have stuff where kids can see it.
What are you talking about? This is...
No, she has a good point. She has a great point.
No, she doesn't have a good point. It's a terrible point.
No,
saying,
she does.
How
just don't get it.
How dare they go on to Twitch TV and not do the full Monty? They should just go on a campsite and do the full Monty.
That's not what I'm
she's
saying.
She's saying that she at least she's going on those campsites that are advertising as that, whereas we have women who go on Twitch and other streaming platforms that our kids are on, and will do like half-ass sex work type streams to try to get away with it. That's what she's saying, and that's wrong.
And it's
That's what her point is.
Yeah, so go full sex worker.
No,
that's not what anyone's saying.
They don't have to do that.
Actually, her exact words were,
being dense on
you
purpose.
should go the hard way and get a campsite instead of doing that. Those were her exact words.
There are not.
She's saying keep it away from the kids. She's saying that we should be keeping
nude models on campsites. There's a category for that.
But they're not nude.
Why would you be against her saying that these people shouldn't be doing this around kids? I don't understand why this is
You're not even listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying that what she said, her exact words were, if you're going to go on Twitch and wear skimpy outfits, you should just go the whole 9 yards and just do full camera.
No one said she did that. We're telling you one thing.
It's my point. It's my point. Hold on.
We're telling you one thing.
If they want to do that at all, they don't have to take off more clothes. Just go onto a platform that's designed to be for adults only. I don't think it's okay to have anything.
Okay, point made.
Yeah.
One follow-up question on this, then I know you have a story to tell. You said that you taught, you talked quite a bit in your pre-show notes about you're conservative. Do you consider yourself traditional?
No, I can't.
Okay, you're not traditional, but you're, okay, I see the distinction. Yeah. You say sex work is bad. I mean, it's like, but so sex work is bad. Maybe you've already kind of gone over this, but how do you reconcile that stance with the work you do? Because I mean, I looked at your Twitter. It's kind of degenerate. There's a photo of you with a penis bong in your mouth.
Yeah.
On your Twitter. My eyes are permanently scarred. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Like, how do you?
It's kind of funny to me because the bong thing, like, there's girls on those sites that like will suck fake dicks, and I think it's gross and stupid. It's a bong. It's a bong for me.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah, I made it. It's funny.
Show of hands, who here does OF? You do.
I don't have an OF.
Well, who here does any sort of content online that's like you're engaged in sex work online? Technically. So you four, I'm just curious. Are you guys religious at all? Like Christian or
I
atheist?
grew up really Catholic.
Yeah,
but are you still or?
I struggle a little bit with faith.
So are you still religious?
I don't know.
Or?
It's hard answering.
What about you? Are you religious?
I used to be atheist, and then my grandparents died, both of them, in 2017. And
okay.
I believe in God. I believe in God.
Are you Christian? Are you?
I'm not going to identify myself as anything because I don't follow their values the same.
I was
religious
baptized Catholic, but then I went to Hillsong and then turned Christian. Oh shoot! I was baptized Catholic, and then years later I started going to church, and I took my hand up for being Christian. But I kind of slowly felt.
Are you currently?
No.
Do you consider? Okay.
I'm pagan. I grew up Christian, and then my dad raised me pagan.
Pagan? What do you mean by pagan?
Like, I guess you could just say spiritual. I don't know if I want to get into that whole conversation.
What's the half horse, half man? What is that?
A centaur?
Do you believe in centaurs and shit? I don't know if that's pig. That's not.
I don't think that Mr. Girl has any substantive beliefs about the subject of pedophilia that I actually disagree with. I just take Mr. Girl to be saying that child abuse is bad, child porn is bad, child porn should be illegal, child abuse should be illegal, and it should be discouraged. But there's no reason to stigmatize non-offending pedophiles, and in fact, doing so can be kind of harmful. And so I don't think that Mr. Girl actually has any normative prescriptions about the subject of pedophilia that I strongly disagree with.
Yes, a pedophile is one who just has an attraction to prepubescent children. A child molester is someone who actually molests children.
Right.
So
and
just
so
having the urge doesn't
normalize.
mean that you're actually touching children. It
Right.
just means that you have the urge. You
I
have,
agree.
You have the attraction.
Yeah, so you want to normalize pedophilia. You don't want to normalize child molestation.
Correct.
But of course,
Get into this conversation actually. We were talking about it behind the scenes a little bit. The Mr. Girl thing, right? You
Sure.
you said you're agnostic, right?
Agnostic about Mr. Girl?
No.
I'm pretty
You're
sure he exists.
No. I know he exists.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like
as a psychopath. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
there is a serious part in Destiny's conversation with Mr. Girl that I actually wanted to ask you about. And it's the part where Destiny actually asked him if God ever appeared in front of him, would he believe that there is a God? And he says, and this is the atheist that I'm used to actually dealing with out in the street when I used to actually like do street street evangelism. There we go. He said, no, even if God appeared right before my eyes in all his glory, I would think I'm tripping and I'm hallucinating and I think this is false. That's a real atheist. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, so, well, yeah, I mean, if I just if I saw God in front of me, I would be like, oh, I'm probably just tripping. But, I mean, I guess there's I imagine there's a way in which God could appear to me. Like, if God appeared to me and I don't know, reached deep into my soul and was like, yeah, I don't know. I imagine there's some type of experience that I could have such that it would cause me to believe God exists. But if I just I couldn't really describe to you, that's just sort of like an intuition. I imagine there's some type of experience that would lead me to believe in God. But if I just saw something and I was like, oh, that looks like God, I would just, the default assumption would be that I'm just tripping.
Gotcha. Okay. And then do you see how where badly that leads? This is where, in my opinion, I'm not saying every atheist is, a self-professed child sex offender. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But
Okay.
Isn't that where the worldview leads? If there was enough of him in a certain place in a particular time, that would be their moral system. It's okay.
Well, I don't think that Mr. Girl is a pedophile, and I don't think he's pro child abuse. I actually, this is gonna be the hottest take.
I
of the
agree
night,
with
but
you.
I don't think that Mr. Girl has any substantive beliefs about the subject of pedophilia that I actually disagree with. I just take Mr. Girl to be saying that child abuse is bad, child porn is bad, child porn should be illegal, child abuse should be illegal, and it should be discouraged. But there's no reason to stigmatize non-offending pedophiles, and in fact, doing so can be kind of harmful. And so I don't think that Mr. Girl actually has any normative prescriptions about the subject of pedophilia that I strongly disagree
Mouthy,
with.
would you consider pedophilia to be abnormal?
I would think so. I think just in the sense that most people
So
aren't
hang on. So
pedophiles.
if you
I know
think,
what you're getting at.
if you
but-
think it's abnormal, right,
Mhm.
and you want to destigmatize it, wouldn't you be normalizing it?
Well, so when we say destigmatize, we don't mean that we want to say that it's okay to molest children, or that it's normal, or that it should be socially acceptable to molest children. The point is just that we want to create an environment where we're saying, look, yes, child molestation is bad. We want to do whatever we can to prevent it from occurring. And so we want to create a situation where, yes, we are acknowledging that pedophilia is bad, or that child molestation is bad, but we're trying to create an environment such that non-offending pedophiles who need help feel comfortable to seek therapy and get the help that they need, so that they don't end up harming any
But
children.
non-offending pedophiles are still pedophiles, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, and that you just said that that's abnormal.
Mhm.
But if you want to get rid of the stigma, that would be normalizing it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, how would it not be a normalization of pedophilia? If I were to ask you if you wanted to get rid of the stigma against homosexuals, and you said yes, and then I said to normalize it, wouldn't you say yes?
Okay,
normalizing it would be making it acceptable and making it to where more
Right.
people
Well, but
could do this in
how
the
is that
open.
not making it acceptable?
Oh, so we would be making pedophilia acceptable. Like
Right.
we would be
Yes,
saying
yes,
so
that's
really,
right.
really quickly,
I got it.
Wait, I don't want to get clipped out of
knew it.
context though. So what I'm saying is that we would be saying that it's not necessarily bad. It doesn't necessarily make you a bad person that
Mhm.
you have pedophilic urges, but it is bad to molest children. It's
Right.
bad to harm children. It's not bad to have that desire. And we want a situation wherein people who have that desire are seeking the help that they need so that they don't actually end up harming children.
Yeah, no, I
Can I-
get it. But the problem is that if you consider a person to be a pedophile who molests children, and you consider a person to be a pedophile who does not molest children, but just has the urge to molest children, and then you say that you want to get rid of the stigma against people who want to but don't, you're still normalizing pedophilia. I don't see how you can evade from that.
So well, look, I think this is just going to come down to a semantic. I wasn't understanding what you're saying. Like, if by normalize pedophilia, you only mean what I just said. So when you say, do you want to normalize pedophilia, and by normalize pedophilia, you just mean create an environment where pedophiles feel comfortable seeking the help that they need so that they don't end up harming children, and where we're not necessarily saying that you're a bad person just because you have pedophilic urges that you can't control. If that's what you mean by normalize, then yes, I do advocate for that, for normalization in that sense. But I guess when you said normalization originally, I sort of interpret that as like, do you want to make it seem morally acceptable to molest children? And of course, I would not argue for that.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not
there
saying
can-
that you would argue for that. I'm just saying that
Sure,
if you
yeah, if
consider
that's what-
both to be pedophiles, and you want the stigma to go away for the non-offending pedophiles, and you are trying to normalize pedophilia.
Sure, if that's what you mean by if what you mean by normalized pedophilia is what I
I
said,
don't know.
then yes.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know how else it could be explained.
Well, the way that I originally interpreted it was just, by normalized pedophilia, we mean we make it culturally acceptable, that like the idea that there's nothing wrong with harming children.
Right.
But if that's not what you mean, then yes, I do agree with you that we should normalize pedophilia.
Well, Mouthy, can we go back for a second really quick? It's weird to me when people say non-offending pedophiles, right? And then you describe to me further, and then you say this person has never actually been in a has never actually sexually abused a child. In my eyes, when you say that, okay, that guy's not a pedophile, and then when I run through a scenario which I think is very real, where, for example, a guy
I
in the
explained this
mall.
earlier, the difference between a pedophile and a child molester.
There's a difference?
Yes, a pedophile is one who just has an attraction to prepubescent children. A child molester is someone who actually molests children.
Right.
So
and
just
you
having
wanna-
the
you
urge
wanna
doesn't mean
normalize-
that you're actually touching children. It
Right.
just means that you have the urge. You
I
have
agree.
the attraction.
Yeah, so you want to normalize pedophilia. You don't want to normalize child molestation.
Correct.
But of course, normalizing pedophilia most certainly isn't going to lead towards normalization of child molestation, right? Because these
There are
things,
levels.
No, I
right,
actually think the
these
opposite.
things just never go in a straight line, do they?
Well, no. I would argue
in real time yet, right?
Them
Tom?
getting
I would
help
argue the
more
exact opposite.
easily means that hopefully there will be less children molested, right? So
Right.
it would actually do the opposite of that.
So there's actually substantial evidence that look, there's a very straightforward logic to it, which is just like, look, when we stigmatize pedophilia more, then non-offending pedophiles feel more internal guilt. They feel on the inside like, oh, I'm a monster. Nobody can ever find out about what I am.
They are fucking monsters.
But so well. Firstly,
They're
firstly,
fucking
I would say
monsters. Bro, they're
I don't.
monsters. They
I
want
would never.
to fuck children.
So,
they're monsters.
I would say that you are a bad person if you molest a child. But I'm not comfortable morally condemning somebody because they just have a particular desire, even if they don't act on it.
Why
so
not?
if we just so if we just have somebody who who was born and just, or maybe they were, because a lot of pedophiles, they themselves were molested as children, or maybe for some people it's a genetic thing. So if we just have somebody who is either born with an attraction to child, or they developed it in adolescence because they were molested or something like that, and so they just have this urge to harm children, but they never act on it. In fact, they're such a moral person that they never go around children. They actively seek therapy so that they can avoid harming children. They never put any children at risk because they realize that it's wrong to harm children. I don't think that's an immoral person. I think that's a moral person who had an unfortunate set of desires that they were bestowed upon, but they're dealing with those desires in a moral way because they're not allowing it to cause them to harm other people. But with respect to the effects of destigmatizing pedophilia, the argument is just this. This is the straightforward argument. It's if when pedophilia is stigmatized, pedophiles feel more internal guilt. They feel like they're monsters. They feel all this guilt. Them feeling this guilt leads them less likely. Well, it's not good because it's not good because I don't think they're necessarily immoral. I don't think they deserve to suffer. But it's also not good because really quickly, just to finish this.
We need to straighten this up, though. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, but let him go. Let him finish.
So the point is just that when they feel this internal guilt, they're less likely to come out. They're less likely to see a therapist because they feel this internal guilt, right? You're not going to see a therapist for something because you're too ashamed to let anyone know about it. And that internal guilt, which leads to them not seeing a therapist, makes them more likely to offend, right? Because obviously one of the main ways in which we can get pedophiles not to offend people is by getting them the help that they need so that they can deal with these urges in a healthy way. And stigmatizing pedophilia counts against that. So, yeah.
So Mouthy explains things in a very, very, very wordy way. So I like to try to condense them down real quick. BPF, do you believe it's okay to condemn somebody for an immutable characteristic or something that they did that they couldn't help, or a characteristic about them that they can't help?
Absolutely not. And I don't believe that pedophilia is an immutable characteristic.
Okay. So that's where the disagreement would be.
Mm-hmm.
But
just
Tom,
like I don't believe homosexuality is an immutable characteristic.
Yeah. Because Tom, this is what I feel like, and I'm not saying you're on that side.
Now, by the way, before anybody fucking goes ape shit, hang on. Before anybody goes ape shit, I mentioned these two things as being things I don't consider immutable characteristics. I wasn't conflating them and saying one is the other. Wasn't trying to do that. Before anybody freaks the fuck out, I wasn't saying anything like that.
Of course.
All right. What I feel like this argument that the other side is proposing is doing is unnecessarily opening your chest up for a giant spear to come through it because of this one factor. I don't think anybody is a pedophile until they actually commit the act, have gone through trial, and have said, yes, he did do that, right? What you guys are now parroting...
But do you think gay if they never had sex with a man, even if they're only attracted to men?
No, I don't think that person's gay. He's not
Definitionally, these would be incorrect, though. That's not how we use these words.
Well, definitionally, we can make up whatever fucking definitions we want.
You can,
so we can.
We can make up whatever fucking definitions we want as long as we agree with what they are, can't we, Tom?
Well,
I'm a virgin.
Do you plan on getting married?
Huh? Sorry, what's that?
Do you plan on getting married one day?
Nope.
Okay, well then it doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. Why am I gonna try to convince?
Right, but we're talking about this whole trope of women who previously were kind of loose sexually.
What do you mean? How am I going to convince? Remember, you were going to convince him through the Holy Spirit, right? Isn't that what you just said? You were going to convince him through the Holy Spirit? I'm waiting for the convincing through the Holy Spirit. Whenever you're ready.
I don't even think it's us convincing people. It's their own conviction. Like, if
it's their own conviction. So they're convinced by the belief in your worldview.
It doesn't have to be my worldview, because some people I've talked to, they don't have that conviction of like, oh, I don't feel the need to wait until marriage to have sex, and that's their conviction.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit there and try to convince them. I could give them my point of view, and then that's it. But I'm not gonna sit there and try to like convince
So you're not convincing? Can you convince Brian through the Holy Spirit real quick, or no?
That's not my job to do that.
Isn't the whole
No,
point of
you
faith
can't
though to
do
come
it.
to the revelation on your own, not to have other people?
Well, okay, let's get back.
Well, hang on. This is actually important. So the reason I bring this up is, do I agree with you that all glory should always go to God? Yes. Do I agree with you that the Holy Spirit can move through people?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But the thing is that am I convinced that it's moving through you, a female minister? No. Am I convinced by your arguments at all? No. Could you even make a compelling argument from the opposition's worldview? No.
That's
So
fine.
I'm
I don't need to
I'm left
argue.
logically with only two assumptions here. Either one, the Holy Spirit just really hates Brian, or B, perhaps your assumption that the Holy Spirit moves through you in order to convince people and does it adequately is incorrect.
Well, see, here's the thing. My words don't need to convince anybody. It's my actions. For example, shout out to Cynthia. She was supposed to be here. She is now recommitted to marriage, and she's...
Your words don't convince anybody, huh?
It's my actions. She's seen my life before how I was and now how I am. And so that in itself is what's... Maybe I'm not called to be a witness like that when it comes to the situation for him. And that's why...
Well, that's super weird. Couldn't somebody else who was a secularist, who was not religious in any way, shape, or form, do all of the exact actions that you have done and not believe in God and Jesus Christ at all?
Yes. So like a
Okay,
a
well
wolf.
then I don't understand how that's an example that you can give to
Well,
say
you're
that,
saying that the Holy Spirit's not working through me.
You'll only know through my actions
I'm not
when in
saying
fact
that.
when-
What I'm saying is that you're saying that the Holy Spirit isn't working through me. What I'm saying is I beg to differ because
I'm not
just
I'm not making the claim that the Holy Spirit isn't working through you. I'm just asking you that if you are to say, I cannot convince anybody. It's the Holy Spirit who convinces people. And I'm drawing on that power. Right?
Right, but we also don't argue with
now's
fools.
your great chance and
or
opportunity
throw
to draw on
pearls
this
to
power.
swine. We don't throw pearls to swine when someone's not open.
What
and
does that mean?
receptive.
Wait. What do you think that means? Do you think that means that if somebody is open and is willing to listen to your actual arguments and you're right in front of them and they're willing to be convinced that that's casting pearls to swine? Is that what you think that means?
No, but he's also just very cut off and not even caring to answer my question. So
Oh, well, I guess the
This
Holy
is more
Spirit
like
isn't
for
very
argumentative
helpful if you can't break
content.
down this minute barrier.
no.
I want to add,
Go ahead, girl.
just to, so I can speak for some things. I like you said, you're like convince him through the Holy Spirit right now. The Holy Spirit's not some genie in a bottle, too, and I think that's where we have to understand.
I
that.
agree. Which
And-
is why it was an ill choice of words.
Ill choice of words is saying a genie in a bottle.
No, to make the kind of bold claim that the Holy Spirit through her is convincing people of anything. How do we know it's not just her trying to convince people? How do we know that?
That's hold on.
You don't know? You don't know how we would know
wasn't
that?
from the comments. He thinks that you were the one that said it.
the
Not reading from
comment
the
said
comment.
it. Your audience
Yeah,
said
the
it.
comment that you said, "Oh, I agree." That's a great comment, meaning you agree with the comment.
Yeah, but it's still true though. There is some, but it wasn't coming out of pridefulness. It's the
It
Holy
sure
Spirit.
sounds like it's coming from a place of pride.
Okay, I understand you're trying to do this whole content thing, but I think there's a fine line with like
Not a content
blasphemy
thing.
of
I'm
like
doing
the
an
Holy
internal
Spirit.
critique
But
thing.
it's true because the Holy Spirit does work through people and our actions, our
agree.
testimonies, and all the things. And so for you to say like how am I so sure that the Holy Spirit is working? I mean, I think the Holy Spirit can work in all of us that's truly spirit filled, and I do believe I'm spirit filled and not out of
pride, but just out of my faith in Jesus and the Holy Spirit.
Well,
and yet when the time comes for you to do the convincing,
But the Holy Spirit also tells you when to pause, when to stop, and when to go. It's
true.
And so it's not always just go and
and is
listen
that
to
what it's
fools.
telling you now? Is the Holy Spirit telling you to go ahead and pause?
What's it
He
telling
is
you?
because
What's
this.
it telling you?
Tell
us what it's telling you.
He's telling me because this is he's not receptive. This is just for likes and views.
I'm receptive. I'm receptive.
No, and this is
I'm
also
a receptive.
discernment.
Oh, it's just for likes and views. Well, let me tell you, a lot of flack that a guy like Brian gets is when he says publicly things like, look, I'm actually considering going to an Orthodox church. And I'm considering doing this because I heard convincing arguments from this guy over here. Now, the thing that's interesting about that is that you claim that this is all performative. And yet it would be far easier for Brian to continue to just say, no, if it was just purely performative, no, I have no interest in that and I don't believe in any of it. These are real conversations which influence tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people. And I think it's a massive cop-out to just go, well, because of the performance aspect of this means nobody's influenced. They're
It's not
clearly
that,
influenced.
but it's just like for me to try to convince Brian on why it's okay to be that 101 person, right? It's like I can't because he's coming from a standpoint from that is.
Wait, you want me to be the 101 person?
I think I would have a.
Wait, what? You want me to be the 101?
I want you to think
Okay.
again about what you're saying. You're saying I can't not convince a person who does not accept my worldview.
You want me to be 101?
101, yeah.
You
I
want me
think
to be?
it's a bad
Wait,
deal
hold
for
on.
both
This is totally.
This
hold
could
on,
be a
this is-
hashtag 101.
This is two different conversations. So the first conversation is about like women who were strumpets.
What?
Women who were strumpets, and then they don't want to be strumpets anymore with you as a guy, whether for religious reasons or not for religious reasons. Is your advocacy really though that that men from your worldview, from a Christian worldview, need to marry women with a high body count?
What?
Well, you said
When did I
the
say
guy
that?
should. I thought you said the guy should accept being number 101 and waiting.
Right. She said equally yoked. That's what you're referencing. So he's referencing the equally yoked. If you were equally yoked, then wouldn't you be marrying a guy with a high body count?
We're talking about spiritually. Well,
Wait, but did you just clarify?
This is my point.
But did you say? Hold on.
We have different foundations on
Okay,
what
cool.
even verses
So
mean. And
let me ask you a question. Should the guy, let's say he's Christian and she's Christian, would you advise a guy to marry a woman who's Christian, but who has a body count of over 100?
That's not my place to tell him who or how many body counts.
As the secular man at the table, let me give you Christian men some advice. Women can absolutely change and be redeemed.
Come on.
But men do not need to then disregard their baggage and marry them. This is perfectly compatible, even within the Christian worldview. Nothing would compel a Christian man to have to date a woman, even if she's redeemed,
Yeah, she doesn't have to do
date
anything.
her
No.
because she fucked 100 dudes before she was Christian,
Yeah.
or even while she was Christian.
Well, that's scripturally incorrect because basically, according to scripture, you're a new creation. So therefore, what that means when you get baptized is actually you're born again.
You're a born again virgin. You're a born again virgin. Yay!
So if God doesn't hold on to
You
your
can
previous
hashtag
sin,
that. Oh, yay! Hang on. I'm going to take yay to the born again. Let's celebrate to the born again virgin. You're born again in your virginity. Your hymen grew back. It's fantastic. There's shots all around. I'm born again virgin. Yay!
Born again. I mean,
wow!
Really matter.
There you go. Bottoms up to you. You were born again a virgin. The entire past of the race you did. You unfucked every guy you've ever fucked. Ah, yay!
And I think it could go both ways. Like for me as a Christian woman, if I end up like a guy is pursuing me and he has a high body count and we both have the same beliefs, we're equally yoked, like I'm not going to hold that against him.
100%.
And I think like you're kind of saying like the guy it could be he has to forgive the girl.
Hold on. I'm not even Christian. So
Yeah.
you're saying Christian are not allowed to have any standards or boundaries? Is that what
if
you're
you're
arguing?
truly born again and you have the Spirit working in you, you will transform. It doesn't matter what you did in your past.
So you're saying that a Christian man or a Christian woman is obliged to date any other Christian?
If they unlock all these guys who reformed over to Christianity and let them out of the fucking. We better let them all out of prison, Brian, because
well,
they're
you know
reformed.
what?
Whatever they did in the past, it doesn't matter anymore.
Actually, we have many ex-gang members in my church. Actually, that they are no longer doing the things that they did. They are transformed. They have different
So a
fruits
woman
and actions.
is obliged to date a former.
She doesn't have to.
no
You don't have to.
Right, and so a man doesn't have to.
No one's saying that,
That's what you're
Brian.
arguing. That's what you're arguing.
That's not the argument. No one
no
ever
one's actually said that.
I'm actually standing for you and saying, no, you don't have to date her.
The thing is, you can be forgiven for your
Yeah.
Next topic.
No
forgiven.
I don't know what the argument is here. We're all agreeing.
The Bible's very
No, but I
clear.
literally said.
We're just trying to have to disagree
no,
for
but
content.
hold on. But when I said men do not need to then disregard their baggage and marry them, y'all were like, no, that.
No, they were just saying that Christians would probably
Come on, Maddie.
be more accepting of, like,
your sins are washed away, but the consequences of them are not.
you still
and there's there are worldly consequences to the things that you do.
Yeah.
This idea of born again virgin is complete prattle. It's completely unbiblical.
Prattle.
It's made the fuck up.
Unbiblical.
Yeah, I don't think anyone
made
said
up.
that.
There
I don't
is
think
no
anyone said
place.
that.
There is no place. You did say born again.
No,
virgin.
not
Yes, you did.
I personally did not. I never said born again virgin.
You
Those
guys
words never
brought up
came
the
out of
born
my
again
mouth.
virgin like as like a joke or whatever, but like spiritually,
I take it very seriously. I take born again.
anything that I've
very
done.
seriously.
None of us have
Not a
referenced
joke.
that.
No, sexually, any drugs I took in the past, anything that I was involved in, it's not in my life anymore. And so, if a Christian man were to come to my life and look at my past and be like, "Oh yeah, you do have the fruits of the Spirit now. Your life has changed. Your actions are changed now. But you did that 10 years ago. I don't want to be with you." I would dare to argue that that's not a true Christian man, because a true Christian.
Bullshit. That's bullshit.
That's exactly.
Lies.
Okay. Yeah, that's what
There
they're
is
arguing
no-
against.
You cannot, and go ahead and try. I can't wait to hear this.
Okay, you know
Why
what?
don't you go ahead
I'll take
and
it
try
back.
to
I'll take it back.
justify
He could
why
be
it is
he
that
could be a
man
Christian man.
who is hang on, a man has held his entire life celibate, let's say, and he's devoted his life to God, and he wants to get married and have a nice family. And he goes to you and he finds out that you fucked 100 dudes and you're on camera getting gang banged. Can you explain to me? Let's just assume it. I'm assuming it for the
That's
sake of
not
argument.
true. That's not
You
true, by
did.
the way. I just
Not
want to make
saying
that.
you did.
Okay.
Not saying you did.
Just want to make that clear.
I'm saying for the purpose of the hypothetical.
Mhm.
Okay? You got gang banged by 100 dudes. It's on camera, right? They're jizzing all over your face,
Okay,
right? They're having a great time with you, let's say, in this hypothetical. This man, you're saying, is not Christian
No, I'll
because
take
he
that
says,
back.
look, I don't want to marry a woman who has that background.
So I would say he doesn't have to take me as his wife. He doesn't choose to. But I would say someone that's equally yoked as because I could date an ex-gang member that's been with X, Y, and Z, probably even has a daughter or a son, because we're born again. We have a new life in Christ. We have a future and hope in Christ. That the past is the past, and God, the Holy Spirit has the ability to redeem you and to transform your minds, your habits, everything. And so
I don't disagree with that.
But if I'm like, you know what, I don't want to be with him because of X, Y, and Z, that's my choice, and does whatever. Same thing with the man.
Well, let's back up and see if this actually logically pans out here. Let's assume that this man is with you and doesn't know anything about your past.
Okay.
You're extremely devout. He adores you. He thinks you're great in every conceivable way. He knows for sure that you are pious, that you love the Lord, and he loves the Lord as well.
Okay.
Okay. Then one day he's scrolling on YouTube and he finds or not YouTube, but wherever, and there's a picture that pops up. Maybe somebody DMs it to him, and it shows you getting gangbanged by 50 guys.
Mhm.
And he goes to you and he's like, "Look, honey, yes, I agree that you're a Christian. I agree that spiritually you are epic, but I do not want to marry a woman who has been gangbanged by 50 dudes."
Right. Then he
Is
would
he
have.
doing? Hang on. Is he doing anything wrong?
Technically, no. He could have that.
No.
He could make that decision. But what I'm saying is that even in that situation, which is not true, I would like to
I'm
think
not
that
saying it's
we
true.
would
Listen,
express
to
our,
all of you
our
out there in
testimony.
the whatever land, I'm not claiming that this actually happened.
Okay.
We're just engaging in a hypothetical.
Yeah, but I still beg to argue that
a Christian man that's really understands the gospel and Jesus and what he brings us from, that people can look past that. I'm not saying all Christian men will, but there's Christian men that would look past a gangbang.
There's secular men who would look past it too.
Right.
But the point here is not whether or not they would look past it. The point here is whether or not it's unchristian of them not to.
I guess it would. I don't. It's hard for me to say it's unchristian. I don't like that I said that earlier. That he's not a Christian man, so I'm gonna take that back. But I would say like, it's kind of like the whole. I don't know. I would have to study on it more. But I just know that it's hard for me to think like, if I'm looking even at a potential husband and I look at him and for his past, that it's not my flesh talking and not the Spirit talking. Like, it's just, if I'm really understanding who the Holy Spirit is and Jesus and being born again, it's like saying I don't want anything to do with you because of what you did 10 years ago. It's like, it kind of diminishes the power of the Holy Spirit and what he's done and the whole point of the gospel.
He's not refuting that you're saved. He's not refuting that you're a Christian. He's not refuting your salvation at all, and is encouraging you on your pathway towards it. That does not mean that this man should in any way, shape, or form stay with you, even if he loved you, based on the consequences which are current to your past. And I don't see a damn thing wrong with that.
Sure. I mean, I guess I could see that. Like, okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
And this is the reason I bring this up specifically, and then you can comment on it. The reason I bring this up specifically is because I need you to know that there are women everywhere who are trying to make the religion of Christianity perverse and what I call a whore haven. And it should be. It should be a place for prostitutes to become reformed. But it should not be a place for prostitutes to become reformed only because they believe that it will shield them from criticism and that suddenly their past will no longer matter. That is an absurdity, and that is a trend which is happening. And I believe that the exact type of gospel that you're expounding on here is pushing people more towards that than would be pushing people more towards reason and an actual relationship with the Lord.
Go ahead. Oh, mate, I kind of agree with that. My whole
Wait, but your question, you were going to make a question.
My whole question was just going to be this. If we're talking about a hypothetical situation of forgiveness, wouldn't you want to be forgiven for the things that you've done in your past? Therefore, if you have a look at the greatest commandment, one of them is to love others as you love yourself. So
I'm the chief of sinners. I am the worst of the worst. The scummiest of the scum. The chief of all sinners is sitting right here. Thank the Lord that forgiveness is available for somebody like me. I'm still not marrying one of you fucking whores, right? That's I'm not saying you specifically.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, from the perspective of a Christian man who says that, what the hell would be the problem with that?
My question then, in the Bible as well, there's the scripture about that gentleman that was actually forced to marry a prostitute. I'm sure you know it a lot better than I do. But then what would you kind of comment? Is that it? And he literally was called to marry a prostitute, and she's still sleeping around with people, and he was called to still love her.
He literally went to go get her.
So I'm just curious as to what your perspective would be on something like that. If you're saying that there's no obligation.
Be specific cases,
yeah.
Like there could be a specific case where via divine command you were called to marry a prostitute. I'm most certain that such a thing could occur. But so what? So what? That has no bearing at all on whether or not it would be unchristian for a man who is devout, who comes across you and knows that you're devout, but still knows the consequence of your past. Like, for instance, what if you had 4 kids from your past? Sure, your sins are washed clean. But does that mean that he has to deal with your 4 kids from other dads because your sins are washed clean? Hang on. Doesn't that seem absurd to you?
I don't think anyone's prefaced this with obligation, but I definitely agree with what you're saying. I'm just asking hypotheticals in return for your opinion on them, but I definitely don't think there's any obligation in any capacity.
It's possible you can have a divine command within the realm of logical possibility for all sorts of things.
Yeah.
But whether or not this is so doesn't mean that it would be unchristian for a man who is a devout Christian to push him towards marrying outside of his preference. And in this case, for a low body count or for a woman who has been chaste, what in the world would be wrong with that?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think that no one should be pressured or forced into marrying someone. No, like, I get that. But let's just take that same Christian man sure, he doesn't want her as a wife, but what if he were to say, yeah, she was a slut 10 years ago, then I still see her as a slut. I think that's what I'm trying to say. No, you can't, just because of what you did 10 years ago, that doesn't mean you're still that today, because you are a new creation.
No,
in
I
Christ.
agree with that.
But you can have preferences.
You're not what you listen. You're
from
not
the
what
past.
you were. You're not what you were. But the consequence of what
Right.
you were does follow you. If you were
Yes.
a serial killer and then you become a devout Christian,
Yeah.
can I concede that there's a possibility you could have salvation? Of course. But that doesn't mean I'm letting you out of prison. And if
Yeah.
you're a chick who has 10 baby daddies, right, that doesn't mean
lot
that a
of
man
baby
is
daddies.
obligated or in any way to look past that because
Right.
he's a Christian. You certainly agree that that has to be true, right?
Yeah, sure, 100%.
Well, then with Brian, back to Brian, we're going to circle this all the way back, right? How in the world then could you ever tell him that his preference for, but I fucked the guy right before you, I just won't do it with you, wouldn't have the meaning to him that essentially you thought he was lesser than the guy before him?
He wouldn't. I mean, he.
Right? He wouldn't.
Gotcha, bitch.
Anyway,
And
with that,
scene.
I'll take a breather here.
Scene.
All right. Okay. Look, I'll give you guys a couple analogies here.
Oh, here we go.
I'm going to give you a couple
Oh my
analogies.
gosh.
So this would be this whole like the girl, all the and we've had girls come on the show and say this. Recently we had a girl say she was going to Europe a bunch, having fun in Europe, traveling in Europe. And when she was in Europe, she had no qualms at all about sleeping with a guy within 30 minutes of meeting him. But then she's like, well, now that I'm back home, I'm going to wait like a month, 2 months, 3 months before I have sex with a guy. Totally arbitrary, no actual reason, just arbitrary because she thinks that will make her more likely to get a guy to commit to her, which actually isn't the case at all. But a couple analogies here. The girl saying, well, all the previous guys hooked up with them fast, but you, I want to wait. It's like a guy saying, you don't understand. Those women, they're just for hookups. So of course I bought them expensive things and I took them to the best dining places and I even paid their bills. But you're different from them. I actually see you as a potential girlfriend, wife. So you have to wait for those benefits. So let's go out to McDonald's. You're paying, by the way. Or, okay, here's another one. Here's the other one, okay? It's like going to a fancy restaurant. You're waiting in line. Everyone is paying $1 for a fancy T-bone steak. And then when it's finally your turn, you're informed all they have left is a McDonald's burger that'll cost you $1,000. How do you feel?
Can I ask you a question?
Well, I'd like an answer to my question first. From
Well,
the
it's
panel.
kind of like a rebuttal from that, what
Okay,
you
go
said.
ahead.
So you're saying that hypothetically, your interpretation of if a woman is interested in you is if they have sex with you, because if they had sex with other people and they're not having sex with you, that means that your value is potentially diminished. But why are you placing emphasis on your value being through sexual intimacy? Why couldn't it be that your value is actually placed in the fact that this woman is going, hey, I've done this so many times with so many other people. I see something in you. I want to cherish that. I want to nurture that. And I don't want to do that because I think that there's something about you that is different from everyone else. I want to get to know you outside of sex. I want to get to know you for you, because sex places a false sense of intimacy with someone where if you take sex away, you actually get to know the person for their truest essence. So why wouldn't you be more special because she's not just sleeping with you, but she's actually going, hey, wait a minute, I see something in you that's different. I want to cherish that, champion that, and nurture that. So I'm not going to sleep
I have
with
a
you.
response. So I have a response. So first off, that was actually Andrew's argument, not mine, because I deferred to him on his response.
Okay.
So
Well,
actually
that's for you
Andrew's
then.
argument.
Sorry.
But
so let's condense it then. You can ask it this way and I'll answer it.
Oh, okay. Well, then to repeat the question, I'm not going to repeat it, but you heard the question. I guess that's it. Why is the interpretation that value is placed on the sexual intimacy, and why isn't it built on a different type of foundation? And why does that diminish the man as being special because a woman doesn't want to do that with him?
Well, wouldn't this defer to just cultural relativism? So let me tell you a story about the Cum Warriors of Papua New Guinea.
The fuck?
Oh, man. This is the Peacecraft argument. I'm going to explain this to you, and God help all of us as I do it. This is the Peacecraft argument for the Cum Warriors of Papua New Guinea. Now, there exists a tribe in Papua New Guinea where all of the young boys have a specific job to do to become men. And I'm not going to get into it. You can infer it.
Yep.
Okay? Because it's YouTube. But their job involves their mouth and men. Okay? That's what they do all day long, and they load up with that. Interestingly enough, surprisingly enough.
Disgusting.
No, I'm not kidding. Not kidding.
I'm literally so lost.
It's a real thing. It's a real phenomenon.
I think he'll make a point. I think he's talking about the context.
Yeah. The thing is that when it comes to this particular tribe, the interesting phenomenon here is that there doesn't seem to be any trauma from these young men.
Ulysses the pagan donated $200. Girl to them right of red dress. What if a guy with the past of SA women is now born Ogion? Would it be unchristian of you to not want to be with them?
I was
The
actually
past
thinking about
has
that.
consequences.
I was actually thinking about that. Like, I wouldn't date someone that was a petty, you know?
Yep, we know
right?
what you're talking about.
Although that doesn't mean that I don't believe that God has the ability to change him and that he can have a completely different life. But yeah, that wouldn't be my preference to go date.
Right. Thank you, the pagan. Appreciate it.
That doesn't change. Yeah.
Thank you, pagan. Appreciate it.
Pagan.
Back to that thing or whatever. And
Yeah. So, not kidding. This is a real phenomenon. It's a real tribe. This really happened. So what it reduces to is what's called cultural relativism. So if there's no trauma for these young men who have to do this ghastly deed, and they have to do it on a daily basis, by the way, can you explain to me how you would go in there if they say, I love doing this, it's my favoriteest thing, and explain to them why it would be wrong for them to do that?
I get your point. Well, I guess my rebuttal to that would be we're not talking about people in Papua New Guinea. The context of what we're talking about is people in the West, and we're talking about this new age of sex culture. So it's kind of irrelevant to try and debate.
Yeah, great. So how would you convince them that what was going on was wrong?
Well, to be honest with you, unless there was a necessity for... Yeah, I think it's kind of a null and void argument, to be honest with
Well, I
you,
mean, if
because
you were-
I
Null
don't
and
understand...
If you were trying to spread Christianity to them.
Well,
I never
how
said that
could
I
it
was trying
be
to spread
null and
Christianity.
void?
I think that's
When
what
out of one side of your mouth you say that
Yeah.
to Brian, cultural relativism doesn't matter, yet he lives in a culture where promiscuity is absolutely heralded as being absolutely fine. Everything from feminism to what is now the modern day pickup community says that this type of promiscuity is absolutely fine. And yet, when I give you an example of the most ghastly of deeds being culturally relativized down to your own prism, you couldn't give me a single argument for how you would tell the tribe that they probably shouldn't let this occur?
The only way that I could potentially see of going about that is, again, you'd just have to... you create a new culture. You'd have to educate people on what your perception of sex is, what healthy sexuality is. It would start on an individual basis of saying, how do you feel about this? Is this something that you enjoy?
Yeah, they
do you
love
know there's
it.
an
They think
alternative?
it's great.
Well, then
They
educating
think
that there's an
it's great.
alternative
It's a right
solution.
manhood, not kidding.
So it's as simple as that. I think if you can tell people that there's another way to do things, if they accept that, like this, we're saying you don't have to do things this way. There is an opposite way. If you take that choice, amazing. But education.
But your initial argument was, why isn't your worldview grounded on something besides this thing? So what I did was I gave you a worldview, which was not grounded on this thing, which instead was grounded on that particular culture. And so now you know that different worldviews can be grounded just based around the culture that they're in. You must agree that this is so, right?
Absolutely. But again, I think from my perspective to change, I never knew that there was another way. And so I always thought that it was that way, and to have sexual intimacy. When I was educated that there was another option, I took that. So I think it comes down to, again, if you have the capacity to educate people in a way that says...
Fantastic. Okay, well, why don't you go ahead, and I just can't wait to hear you educate Brian. So if Brian has a chick who is on birth control, right, and they are in a committed relationship, Okay, they're in a committed relationship, meaning they're not sleeping with anybody except each other.
Yeah.
And they plow each other every single day in the craziest positions you can think of. I mean, he gets the anal beats out. He's having a good time with this, let's say, in this hypothetical.
That's why
he's having a ball.
Wow,
Explain to Brian why what he's doing is wrong. Word.
Could I add? I don't think it's. It's
Hang on,
for me as a
can you let
person.
her answer?
I think, again, the reason why I would talk about this is it would be it's a great question. The reason as to why I would wonder, it's a complex one. I know it's a complex one. I would say, do you believe it? So if I was doing this legitimately with someone, she's trying to answer. She's trying to answer.
Go ahead. Sorry,
So if I was legitimately doing this with someone, the process that I would take is I would ask, do you see that there is a problem to begin with? And the thing is, if someone doesn't
he sees
see
that there's no problem.
well then
He's
what
having
would
a
be
ball. He's having a ball. There's no STDs involved. There's no pregnancy. They're in a committed relationship, just the two of them, and he is just having the time of his life, and so is she. Can't wait to hear the argument for why what he's doing is wrong. Can't wait. What is it?
I think, and this is 100% personal, and you asked me what my argument would be as to why I think it's wrong, so it has to come from a personal perspective, and my perspective is this. I believe that every single person, and I don't care how corny this is precious and treasured, and according to my faith, I believe that doing something in accordance of a marriage is something that should be protected and championed, and it's not in the context of casual relationships. I don't believe that you should ever have sex as a form of the basis of your intimacy. I don't think that you should see a woman as this thing that you can just pursue, and the way to love her is just to have sex with her. I think that every woman is extraordinary and special, and her body is one of the most precious things, and the precious,
He agrees, totally agrees. Their body,
well, I
their
haven't
body's
finished my argument.
extraordinary. It's exceptional.
Yeah, but I
they
haven't finished
absolutely
my
adore
argument.
each other. They're having sex every day. They think it's the greatest thing ever. They're having the time of their lives. He actually agrees, let's say, with everything you just said.
Yeah.
That absolutely. A woman's body's her temple. He worships her. She's a goddess, and she thinks he's a king. And they're having a
bows
ball.
to her.
And
He
they're
bows
just-
to her.
they are
He's a little
just smashing every single morning, afternoon, and night, and they just adore each other. Tell me what the
This is
argument
exhausting.
is for what it is that they shouldn't do that.
If he's not living his life, I mean, for me as a Christian woman, if I'm living my life according to the Bible and I have those standards, those are my standards. If he's not lining up his life to want to have it lined up to the Bible, and
Like,
he
it's as
doesn't
simple
think
as
it's
that.
wrong,
You can't
it's very
argue it.
simple.
Yeah.
If he's not
The
living a
Bible
life
says
towards
that.
that.
You can't
the
force
Bible
him
says
to see our perspective.
Let me take over here for a little bit.
very simple. Like it's
All
not
right.
It's not that complex. It's,
scripture
not,
for
it's
that.
actually not that deep.
Yeah,
it's really not that deep. If you don't agree, you
have
don't
the
agree, mate.
conviction, if you don't have the spirit, you're not going to have conviction. Like it just is what it is.
All right,
Why
so
would you want to change that?
I'll just go back to your argument. So just to bring it back to this whole thing of, well, okay, what I had said previously was we had a woman who came on the show,
Yeah.
and she was traveling in Europe, and she had no qualms at all with just sleeping with men, multiple men, within minutes or hours of meeting them. She came back to the United States. She's back home. Oh, now, okay, you know, two totally different viewpoints on this. Now that I'm back home, I'm going to make men wait 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. I need commitment. I need a relationship. No religious reasons, just totally arbitrary. And then 2 weeks after she has this new standard, she goes on a trip to Vegas. She fucks a guy. Within 30 minutes of meeting him, no real
She needs
actual
Jesus.
standard.
That's
Okay,
all.
don't care about that.
I actually don't agree
give
with
a fuck.
that. I
Don't give a
think,
fuck about that at all. Actually, I want to talk about this trope of women having like this double standard of the conduct towards men. And your argument essentially was, well, what if it's about that she really thinks the guy is really special and she, wants to value
Well,
herself?
for your specific situation, I would say that it's a challenge of her identity, because clearly that she falls back on her morals and principles, because she says that I'm going to do this and then I do that and then I do this. So it would be a deeper conversation to have with this girl, hypothetically, on what is your identity, what are your morals, values, and principles, because clearly when you go somewhere else, you default on them. So that person actually doesn't have a lot of integrity, would be the analysis of this person.
No,
so
it has,
they would,
I don't think it has anything to do with
You
that.
don't think so?
No, I just think it's this totally arbitrary thing thing. She's traveling. It's like, okay, I'm just going to hook up with
I don't
guys.
think so.
And I don't really care about it from that perspective. The perspective is, once again, to bring it back to the male perspective of that's bullshit.
Yes.
I'm not going, like, that's unfair. So I'm going to feel a certain type of way about that. And because of that, I may or may not feel like you're worthy of waiting for.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's totally fine.
Like,
as a man.
the perspective is she worth waiting for? And it seems evident to me if she's has this sort of two different standards that are occurring at the same time, that no, she's not worth waiting for. It's one thing if it's always been your standard and you've had 3 long-term relationships and you made all of them wait. But if you've had 10 casual hookups and you slept with them all really quickly, and now you're coming to me and you want a long-term relationship with me, and I have no inclinations towards waiting weeks or months to have sex, I'm going to look at that and feel like that's a bullshit proposition. I'm going to go date a different girl.
Yeah.
And
because you're playing a game with me.
It's
But I just don't understand the logic of, because you were saying, well, like you're kind of, it's like they reward the fuckboys who never give them commitment with immediate sex and punish the guys worthy of a relationship by making them wait weeks, months, or even until marriage.
I think the reason why women do that is, again, there's a need for validation. And so if a guy is distant, if he's cold, if he's backing off, a woman therefore wants him, which is why these F-boys seem to get the reward, because they need to seek that validation and that reward of knowing, oh, they like me, they slept with me, even though they're hot and cold. Where when they have the more solidified yes from a guy that's pursuing them, that's into them, it's this weird psychology which comes back to identity, I think, of I know he's there, but that doesn't fulfill that void of validation.
But isn't
that guy
that
feels that
crazy?
void.
So-
Yeah, I don't agree with it.
But
I'm
that's
just
crazy,
trying to
but that's how
debunk
it is. That's
yeah.
how it is. So the girls are giving sex to the guys who are the least deserving.
Which is a major problem.
They're giving
Yeah.
sex to the guys who are probably, by their own estimation, the least deserving of it. They're not treating them well, et cetera, et cetera. And then the guys who are treating them well, we're going to wait.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a major problem. And I 100% agree with you that it's not right.
And also, too, it even comes from a perspective of what was their, for me, what did you see growing up? If all they seen was maybe their parents or their aunts, uncles, whoever it was, get into those type of relationships, and they're like, okay, I want to be in these type of relationships too. It honestly goes back to the way you grew up too. If you're around something so often, you're going to attract that as well, versus if I was never taught, I didn't grow up in a happy household where my parents got along and all that stuff. So it's like, if I grew up seeing that, I'm like, okay, that's what I deserve too. If I never seen what an actual healthy relationship's supposed to look like, I'm probably not going to be attracted to that. And it sucks. Yeah, like we said, it sucks that us women, sometimes we want to go after the bad boys. We want that validation, and it comes back to that fulfillment. It comes back to what all we've seen all our life. If I grew up 15 years seeing that type of relationship, realistically, I'm probably going to get into that relationship until I'm introduced to something new. And I get your perspective. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. And we can't validate that. And if a man says, okay, I'm not going to wait for you, I don't want to be with you. Okay, awesome. For the girl, awesome. You're not the one for me. Cool. Keep it pushing. It's not that hard. It's like, for me, at least in my perspective, it's very simple. It's, if he doesn't want to be with me, okay, cool, awesome. Like, thank you for letting me know. Yeah. And
No,
we can keep on going.
He does want to be with you, but you're essentially extending to him very different treatment than the way you've treated. This is something I've experienced with women I've dated myself. They'll be like, oh, I want to wait, I want to wait, but they're otherwise seem interested in me. And then if I just do even like a base level of like questioning, have you ever had a one-night stand? Yes. Have you ever had a friends with benefits? Yes. Oh, okay, 4th date, you still don't like, and it's just like this really weird, look, it's her call, she doesn't want to do it, totally respect it, but I'm going to start feeling like you're playing a game with me, and it just doesn't, like, you're just playing a game. You're trying to leverage sex to get something from me or get commitment. And then I'm like, I just start losing interest because I'm like, okay, she's not interested, so I'm not interested then. Maybe I'll stick around a bit and have sex with her. But once a girl's already started playing that game, I'm just already losing interest. These girls think, oh, if I make him wait, he'll respect me more. No. Well, not really, because we actually, in my experience, all the long-term relationships I've had, we had sex first, second date. It wasn't, let's wait.
Trauma bonding or
What? How does it have to do
No,
with
I wasn't going to
trauma?
say that, but do
It's-
you feel from what you're saying, if the girl, I know that she's had sex with other people and then she's saying with me she hasn't, we get to the third, fourth date, she still doesn't. What that could potentially say is that's hitting a nerve for you. So wouldn't you prefer to look internally and say, why does that actually annoy me? Is it because there's an insecurity within me that brings up? And so when a girl doesn't, I feel that she has to have sex with me to validate something within me. So
Yeah.
wouldn't you prefer to internally look at why that bugs you instead of necessarily analyzing why the girl's not sleeping with you?
No, I think it's because men and women see sex differently.
Yeah, I'm just asking out of curiosity.
So okay. Again, we've already kind of discussed this. But so you're saying the girl fucked 10 other dudes on the first night. And then she wants me to wait 4 dates, 5 dates, 6 dates, 7 dates. It annoys me, not because I feel insecure, but she's clearly playing a game and she has actually it's just a totally arbitrary decision on her end. I heard this from a TikTok. I heard this from a friend. Let me make the dude wait, even though she has no actual qualms with fucking quickly.
Yeah, that
and
makes sense.
This scenario plays out all the time.
Yeah.
A girl will do this, the man will be annoyed by it, and then she'll just meet the next guy and fuck him immediately. So it has absolutely nothing to do with her standards. It's just you're playing a game.
Yeah.
You're trying to leverage sex to get compliance from men in some sort of way. And so it doesn't frustrate me because I'm rejected. It's just like you're playing a game.
Yeah, and there
You're
are
playing
women
a
who
game.
do play
It
those
has
games.
nothing to do with your values.
Yeah.
And it's just a totally different treatment. And like, how are you going to say you want a long-term relationship with me? You think I'm special? All those other guys, they weren't worthy of a relationship with you, but you gave them pussy, and I'm the one who's worthy of a relationship, but you don't want to have sex with me? It doesn't compute to me. It literally does not make sense.
Yeah.
That's it.
In that situation, I feel like it's true, but say she does have like this big switch and regrets her past promiscuity or whatever, and she wants to like wait, and she's not just going to do this with you, she's going to do this with any other guy.
Will I know though?
From that
There's
on.
no way for me to know.
Yeah, but
And you'll
I
never
think like
know.
women like that, they have their reasons, they just don't know how to tell you without making you feel like shitty. As in like, oh, they want to just make sure you're a good guy because they don't just want to, they're just afraid of like adding a body to their body count. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, look, on one hand, yes, it's better to change than to continue in your degenerate promiscuity, but expecting a new relationship partner to accept less than previous partners got while asking them to put in more than previous partners put in, I think is unacceptable.
I think that's even where the first problem is too. You're bringing your past relationships into your new relationship. Yeah, there's going to be times where you talk about your past relationships, but if you're so caught up on my past relationships, like if you're so caught up on it and you don't feel like this relationship's going to work for you, or you feel like I'm leveraging this stuff on you, like she said, there is a switch for some people, and then there are women who use it as a leverage, and I can't fend for them because I don't know. But like, you can't really sit here and be like, well, she had all this body count and or not, I don't want to say that you said you're less, but you can't fathom or wrap your head around it. But at the end of the day, like, if you don't want that, then
Okay, here, I'll give you an
continue.
analogy. All right, so thoughts on this situation. You've been in a situationship with a guy for 6 months. You really like him. You want him to commit to you, but he says he likes to take things slow. Somehow you find out that the last 3 girls he had a committed relationship with, he initiated the commitment conversation after only 3 weeks of dating. How does that make you feel? And what does that say about how he views you?
Wait, say the last part again. Sorry. The next one is, you said he didn't have that conversation until after 3 weeks, like saying he wants to take things slow.
What do you like not understanding about it, or?
No, he said he wants to take things slow, but then you learn that his previous relationships he moved faster with, but he lied to you saying, I'd like to go slow, when his history shows that he does not like to go slow.
I mean, I would hope he had learned something from one relationship to the next, and if it doesn't, it's just going to be revealed. And then you make that decision if you want to
Wouldn't
continue.
you feel a little shortchanged, though?
I mean, yeah, I'm going to feel some type of way, but I'm not going to sit there and cry about it and be like, oh my gosh, he lied to me. Yeah, okay, if he lied to me and this is something I'm not interested in and he lied to me, he already broke that trust, okay.
All right, here's another scenario. Okay. There's been no changes at all to his financial standing. You find out that a man you've been on a date with, and he took you to, he didn't pick you up, made you take the bus. You met him at McDonald's. You find out that all his previous dates, he took them to 3-star Michelin restaurants, paid for the whole date, but he took you to McDonald's and he had you split. But he only did that because, you know, he thinks you're the one, like you're worth, like, waiting for. Anything?
That's
No.
the only reason, because he thinks you're worth waiting for?
Yeah,
Are there
like
other
he's
reasons?
like all the other girls, they didn't matter. Like they were just flings. They were just friends with benefits, and he bought them gifts, he took them on trips, he provided, he paid for first dates, roses, etc. But now you're the girl that he wants to be in a long-term relationship with. But because of that, you don't get any of those benefits that the previous women got. You know, just the girls that really didn't matter. They were just flings, hookups, whatever. You don't get flowers. You don't get dates. You don't get trips. But you're the girl who's worthy of a long-term relationship.
Rob, how the hell are you tonight?
Doing great. I was doing some family stuff. I was happy that we could put this together last minute because really enjoy you, my favorite moderator, my favorite channel to debate on, and really looking forward to talking to Connor. So thanks for having me.
That you also have experiences where the men on these dating apps would say, come over, and you would immediately them. So like other men, why should other men put in effort when you've just gone over to men's houses and them right away?
It depends on what the other person is wanting. When I was talking with these people before, I said explicitly, like, let's go on a date versus let's go hook up.
Can you go down and grab
The pickles.
Yeah.
This is so important.
It's gonna
Sorry.
be,
So go ahead.
It's going to be Indiana Trolls and the Jar of Doom this evening. But anyway, go ahead.
In the times before, I would be like, I want to go on a date. I'm like on Tinder before versus like short-term fun, blah, blah, blah. I would be like either more promiscuous if it was just for hooking up, or like, let's go on a date. Let's just try and have fun and go on a date. And so when I said, let's go on a date, I didn't think it would be Walmart. Oh.
But like, I don't understand. It would occur to me that, I mean, you personally don't find some of these dates like appealing, or the guy picked you up in a shitty car or whatever.
No, I didn't hate
I mean,
the car.
isn't that a greater deal of effort that's been expended by the man than just being like, hey, come over, let's fuck? So it's just like, you have had those experiences. I'm just
Like, try to imagine these two parallels. Parallel one, guy you just think is really hot and you're horny one night, so you call him, he comes over, you hook up. Okay. Guy number two, you're dating, you really like him. He finds out by the second date that you've done this with men previously. And you say, but listen, it's not you, I really like you. I was just really horny one night and this guy was hot and I wanted to hook up. Doesn't guy number two feel like shit now? Like, doesn't guy number two go, well, wait a second, what do I get here?
I feel like that's like an individual case-by-case basis, though.
Yeah,
like
and so we're talking about two individual cases.
Yeah.
Case one, you hook up with a guy within minutes, right, because you just want to. Guy number two, you don't, right? Guy number two wants to hook up, but you're making him wait, right? Whatever reason, you're making him wait. You say to him, somehow this comes up as a topic of conversation, you tell him about guy number one. How would that not make guy number two feel like total shit?
He definitely would feel like total shit. If I were guy number two, I would be so sad badge. I'd be like, why doesn't she want me?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, not to butt in, but also to butt in. I feel like if they wanted you for more than just your body, like, you should feel better about that. Because the one night stand would probably do one night stands. They like your head,
baby,
too.
You're right. Yeah, you know, I only give my body to men I hate.
No, not even that, but like one night stand.
You know what? That's fair, sweetheart. You're right. You know, you only give your body to men you hate. That's fair. Like, imagine imagine that. Imagine it, though.
I am imagining it, but like personally, like I would feel better if a man wanted to wait to have sex with me until like we've had an actual
No, it's
connection.
not
That
about
means-
you. We're talking about the man.
Yeah, well, I
We're not talking about how
She doesn't
you
know what men
feel.
think.
We're not talking about how. We're not talking about how you feel. We're talking about how a man would feel knowing that you had other men you had sex with.
Knock it off.
Right? That you had other men you had sex with, and then you made him wait.
I have no idea how a man would feel.
How
So
do you
never
think
mind.
he would feel?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
I would
It's
imagine
beyond
man
your
would feel
scope.
better about himself.
What about you? How would you feel in that situation?
Of
said he'd feel like
course, I'd
shit.
be like, oh, you this other dude upon minutes of meeting him because you were horny one night, but you want me to wait. That would make no sense. That would make me think, wow, you really like that guy and must really not like me very much.
Here, I can put it in a way.
Hang on. Is the light bulb? I feel like there's a light bulb, and it's like it's like about to just ding, and the whole room's going to get illuminated.
I mean, it really depends on the guy, though. I mean, for you, you would say, like, you would feel pretty shitty. You would say that.
Every guy on planet Earth would feel shitty.
Brian, would you feel shitty if you found out that so and so, the girl that you were talking to or whatever, she had sex with another guy, but she wanted you to wait? How would you feel about it?
Yeah, that's dog shit.
That's his. It's actually his argument.
Oh, that's your. Oh,
That's
right.
it's his argument.
Okay.
But I mean, let me ask you the same question in reverse. A guy's like, "Oh yeah, baby, this chick just came down, and I just wanted to f her. That's all. But I really like you, so we need to take it slow."
Well, the past is in the past, and I'm the future. So.
All right, she's not.
Yeah.
It's not worth engaging with her.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Wait, she wanted to say something.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm just like gonna say that women also can feel this in like the way of like, for me, I don't like doing one night stands. I want a relationship. Generally, I want to date until I can kind of feel if this is going to be serious, and I don't want to be intimate with someone until I know that that's the page they're on. But guys, a lot of guys I know, they expect they don't want to. They need to have sex with you to see if they want to be in a relationship with you. But in general, the same guy who's saying I'm not ready for a relationship could date the next girl like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, so I do think that makes sense.
I didn't even understand it, but I'm trying to.
I think she's saying that she would probably feel.
I'm just saying that there's also like women also can feel like you're talking about men and how men feel.
No,
I'm just also
I
saying
know what you're
women go
saying.
through this thing as well where
Sure,
men
sure.
look at them like they're just a piece of ass and not a relationship.
Why don't I tell me if this is what's going on?
Okay.
So let's say you were dating a guy for like a year, but it was kind of a situationship, and he was like, I'm just kind of like, I'm not sure what I want right now. Like, you're really great, but I just want to take things slow. I'm not in this point in my life where I'm ready for long-term relationship. You guys break up. 2 weeks later, he's engaged to another woman.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind
Not
of
a
what you're
year,
talking about?
Not a year. That's a long time to like let
Some
guy
women are in
decide
situationships
yeah, but I mean, just like in general, like guys often I've seen with my friends and like personal experiences. A guy's like, oh, I'm not ready for a relationship. I just want to hook up. Where I'm just like, I'm good then. Like but or they're actively pursuing you, and then they're literally they have a whole girlfriend like 5 days later, and it's like on Instagram or something like that.
That has happened.
Wait, I'm just I'm confused because it's like you guys always say girls are so confusing, but I'm confused right now about what men want, because you don't want a girl to be promiscuous and sleep with you on the first date, but you're gonna be mad if she doesn't sleep with you on the first date.
I think they were more
Question
so
mark,
like just
question mark,
playing
question
devil's
mark.
advocate with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
what do men want? Isn't that a movie?
Well, it
What do men
depends.
want?
It
Yeah,
depends.
I think what men want.
Well, it depends on if they're following secular ethics or Christian ethics or some other ethical form.
Mhm.
So from Brian's perspective, it makes total sense to me. He says, okay, if you're willing to sleep with a dude the first night you meet him, but you want to make me wait, that's basically signaling to me that you don't want me. I can't argue with that. I don't know how to argue with that, because how else could it make you feel?
Like they crave something more meaningful than just intimacy.
But okay, so here,
Yeah,
let
but
me
if it's
frame
more,
it.
if it's more meaningful, though, why would you give the intimacy to the guy who it wasn't meaningful with?
Yeah, it's like you.
That's counterintuitive.
I feel like you said it yourself, though. If in this hypothetical, the girl's horny.
Yeah, just like a guy's horny.
Yeah,
guy's
but,
horny,
so
yeah.
the assumption is that now Brian doesn't make you horny, right? In this hypothetical.
I you know what? That makes sense a little bit, but not a lot, but a little bit for
Because
sure.
wouldn't you question? You'd be like, "What's wrong with me? Why can't you have sex with me?"
Right.
Instead? Like
I get, yeah,
that would be
honestly-
like
That would be the point.
that would fuck with my head.
How about
honestly.
here? How about this? So imagine a guy who introduced his friends, family, spends quality long romantic dates, revealed his emotional side with girls he just wanted to smash, but with girls he saw long-term potential. He just booty called them. He left straight away afterwards. Like that's the difference. Does that make sense?
No.
No.
Not at all, because like, that was pretty much saying what I'm saying.
The reason
You're
it
kind of
doesn't-
agreeing with me.
The reason it doesn't make sense is Brian's point. So he's giving you the reverse.
Yeah, but the
He's
reverse
saying,
is my
would it
point.
he says, would it make sense? Would it make sense in the reverse if a guy wanted a long-term commitment with you, but then just did a booty call and then never talked to you again? That makes no sense.
Exactly. So the person that I might booty call, I don't want a long-term commitment with, but someone I'm getting to know, I would.
Right? Yeah, right. That's the point, though.
Wait, I don't.
I'm
Wait.
trying
Oh, wait,
to
I think
give
I
you-
messed up. I messed up.
I'm trying to give you like, okay, it's like.
Well, I'm not a man, so I feel like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what I would think about it.
Yeah, it's truly up to you guys.
You can't put yourself in the shoes of the opposite sex.
I'm really trying.
Can you put your shoes in our?
Yeah.
Because like as a woman, like you said, like every woman could get sex if she wanted to.
Yeah.
So like, do you feel that the man would be disrespecting the woman if he agreed to have sex with her on a first date? Like
That's a separate conversation.
No, but I mean, like,
just
not
to
really,
answer
though.
very quickly, right? From my ethical purview, yes.
So then that's not the kind of man that you'd want to be seeing long term if they agree to have sex with you on a first date. If
Yeah.
they'd rather wait for you, then that sounds like a long term partner.
It does, but we still come into the same conundrum.
Okay.
So the problem is, sure, I agree with you that let's say a woman propositioned a man and he's following Christian ethics, he should turn her down. Sure.
But then in that case, then that man probably wouldn't want to be with that woman.
But it really has nothing to do with the idea of a man, let's say he's a Christian man, he's dating a woman, okay? She reveals to him that she wanted to have sex with these two previous men to him, but now she wants him to wait, right? It's still the same conundrum either way. It's still going to make him feel like shit either way.
Well, that sucks that his feelings got
Yeah,
hurt.
because I was like, why would you allow that to happen?
I feel like the woman probably wouldn't also tell him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how does that make it better?
The less you know, the better, baby. Like,
Right.
I feel like if anything that makes it
so
worse
the
is what if he
idea is like
finds
share
out?
your feelings.
And then you break
I
up.
want you to be in touch with your emotional side. I want you to open up to me. I ain't telling you fucking shit.
But that's different. It's about.
Oh, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean-
because when you show something which is vulnerable, it can be weaponized. But when a man shows something vulnerable, it's the same thing. It can also be weaponized.
Well, ideally, I don't. The thing about this hypothetical is that that's just not something that I would do. Like,
This isn't that hypothetical. What I call this phenomenon faking virtue. So the idea is that they don't care. The woman doesn't care. She would sleep with the guy the first night if she thought that he wanted that. If that would lead to the long-term relationship, she would do that. Because she thinks that he has virtue and does not want a woman who is promiscuous, she will fake the virtue by making him wait.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
This happens all the time, by the way.
Nonstop. Yeah.
Like this is
It's the most common story I hear on whatever.
super
Yeah.
common.
Yeah.
Do you not understand? You still don't understand?
No, I understand. There's nothing I could say at this point because I don't necessarily agree. But if I disagreed, and you're just going to keep explaining it to me for the 10th time.
What do you mean? When you say you disagree, do you disagree that this phenomenon
No,
exists?
no.
Do you
I think
disagree
I'm
that
sure it
it's
completely
wrong,
exists.
or-
I'm sure it completely exists, but I'm sure that there's different intention behind it than just faking virtue.
What would the intention be?
Like I don't think that. Like if I didn't have sex with somebody immediately upon a first date, it wouldn't be that I was lying to them that I was virtuous. It would be because
I
of
agree.
some other reason,
But
probably.
wait, I actually agree.
Mhm.
That could be the case.
Mhm. But most of the time.
That's not the situation we're talking
Okay.
about. The situation specifically we're talking about is if the woman ordinarily would sleep with this guy,
Mhm.
but thinks if she does, that could in some way diminish his interest in her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she doesn't, even though she wants to.
Mm-hmm.
He, right at that point, she's tailoring her virtue to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
That explanation made so much more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does this not happen all the time?
I'm sure it does. Yeah.
Then that's faking virtue.
Okay.
When I'm just curious on your thoughts about this.
Is that just me?
When men,
Does anybody smell anything?
Yeah, I smell it.
Smell like. I thought I was having a stroke for a second. Apparently, that's a sign.
Oh, I smell it now.
Maybe something back.
Are we all having a stroke? After that conversation, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't
there's
make me have a
cigarette
panic
smell.
attack.
I don't know.
No, it's not. It's not cigarettes.
It's not
it smells
cigarettes.
like burning plastic.
Yeah.
Did you microwave the pizza?
What? Oh my god.
Smells like.
What's going on?
Now that you say it though, like.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry.
No, I'm like
Oh,
looking
well.
for smoke.
I know. Until we see fire, we're fine. We're chill.
So when men, and again, this is all, women can do the same thing that you're accusing, or men can do the same thing that women. So I'm not saying that only women or men do this, but a lot of guys lie to women to get laid in the aspect of like
Faking
hey,
virtue.
Exactly. So I'm just proving the point of, hey, I actually really like you. I told my family about you. Like I want a relationship with you while you're, but in your values are, I want to wait, and you want to wait till like the 4th or 5th, whatever you're ready, hypothetically speaking. And a guy's like fakes it because he knows you want a relationship just to get you in bed and then ghosts you. Like hypothetically speaking.
I don't dispute that men fake virtue to get laid. There's no doubt. Okay? Men will tell all sorts of tall tales, everything in between, so that they can get a piece. Okay? I mean, I even saw this in high school. Like, it happens. There's no doubt that it happens. But specifically here, we're just talking about this situation of the idea of what happens when you're a man, you're talking to a woman, you like her, she likes you back. She sees that you have some sort of like higher ethic or virtue. In this virtue, you say, I'm not looking for a woman who's highly promiscuous, things like this, all the things you may talk about on a first date or even before you go on the first date. So the woman tailors her behavior to that because you see what I'm saying?
I just wanted your opinions on that. That's all.
Yeah,
I
of course.
what you're saying.
Of course, both sexes can fake virtue, but this is one I can't get past. This hypothetical with Brian. This is it's an actual problem. We argue about this constantly.
The two of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we argue about it constantly.
Yeah, he looks mad.
So I follow Christian ethics. Brian's not a Christian; he follows secular ethics. Though he does have like an informed ethical belief from Christianity, it's still secular ethics. He says, "Man, that shit's unfair, Andrew. It's fucking unfair that a woman will sleep with 3 dudes before me, let's say hypothetically, on the first date." But then when it comes to me, she goes, well, I really like you, so I don't want to. Right? How the fuck is that supposed to make him feel?
I think there is something really cherishable about not
Cherishable?
getting immediately to like just that place and enjoying time and spending time together. So like if I were the second man and that were me, yes, I'd be sad, but like
So the man gets to look
earlier.
past it. It's always so the answer from women to this always seems to be one of two things. Well, he should look past it, right? Or hey, what does he want? Does he want me to sleep with him the first date, or doesn't he? And it's like, well, the complexity here really though lies with the woman, not with the man. The man could be very virtuous and doesn't expect any woman to be promiscuous with him, but does like a woman who has been promiscuous. How's that fair to him, though?
It's called having communication between two people.
Well, you're communicating.
It's like,
though.
do you both
You're
want to do it?
communicating, but you have to resolve the issue. And the issue is like, okay, you know what? I want to bang now. Oh, but honey, that doesn't follow your ethics. If it did, I would do it totally, right? It puts him in a catch-22.
What differences in this like do you guys see? Like, why do you guys have arguments about this? What's the main
Yeah.
conflict among
It just
you
comes
guys
from
between, like, you
an
two?
ethical purview.
Okay.
Okay, so I follow Christian ethics, so I don't think you should be sleeping with anybody till
Oh,
you're
period.
married with them.
Like, period.
Period.
Right.
Right. But he follows a different form of ethics. He doesn't think sex outside of marriage is problematic. So if that's the case, he's just looking at it from a purely pragmatic point of view. You fuck the last 2 dudes immediately, or the last one immediately, but I have to wait? Why? What's wrong with me? So what's the answer?
I don't think anything's wrong with him.
Right. Nothing's wrong with him. So
Like, it could potentially be an indicator.
I mean, I also don't think it's a woman's fault if a guy lies to her to get laid. You know what I mean? Like, it's if someone lies to you or like they act different.
yeah, but you're just, what about the Mendoing? It's like, we already
That's not
know
even
about the
topic.
Mendo.
It's literally not even the topic.
Yeah, we already know about the Mendo. We know that there's men who are shitbags and do this and blah, blah. How do you reconcile this from the woman's aspect?
I mean, I think if it sounds like she
Into the
might like
mic,
you
into the
more.
mic.
Sounds like she might like you more than like maybe she does maybe think you have higher standards. So, I mean, where you could get mad about it, I think her intentions, it sounds like, is that she just genuinely likes you and wants you to get to know her instead of seeing her as like a body or something.
But she's faking virtue.
I agree. I'm saying yes. Yes.
So this would be a huge red flag indication.
It should be.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then also, I mean, if you're the guy in this situation and you're like, no, I actually do want a long-term relationship, but I also want to like hook up now. And then she's also doubles down and is like, no, it's just kind of it's a totally ridiculous situation. And it's ridiculous kind of from a bird's eye view of the entire situation, because the strange part is, you'll say, oh, those other guys I dated, I didn't really care about them. It was just casual. They were just fuck buddies. It was just a fuck boy, a jerk, asshole, whatever. But you're like this great guy. I want the relationship with you. Shouldn't you? I don't view sex as a reward, but just the simplest way of kind of wrapping my head around it. Ought you not reward the guy who's most deserving of a relationship? So you withhold sex from the guy who's most deserving of it, and you give sex to like scumbag piece of shit men? That literally makes no sense, and it ties into the conversation we were having earlier, where men will see like, okay, does treating women well result in me like getting what I want, in this case sex? No, she's giving sex to the fuckboys, the jerks, the assholes. And it's just like this totally kind of mind fuck, especially for young men, where they're like, okay, you say you want to be treated well, you're like complaining about all these abusive men, but you're giving sex, this cherished thing, to the abusive men.
Right.
And it's really confusing.
Yeah.
And you're essentially, I don't think most men are not going to do the trade-off of, I'm not going to become like a piece of shit for pussy. Some men do, though. Some men are like, oh, this is what women respond to? Okay, I'll just become a piece of shit. I don't think that's the path that they should take, but like that's the path some men take. So you're almost rewarding, like you're almost, what's the word for it? You're
Perpetuating?
not perpetuating, but you're
Encouraging?
it's
Accelerating.
a synonym of, it's like a synonym of that. What's enabling? You're almost enabling men to like be pieces of shit.
Demanding, in fact. In many ways, it's demanding it. It's like, if you're going to curtail it to the market, then what's the incentive of a man to even be virtuous?
But is his ultimatum or his motive is just to lay you in bed?
No. In fact, that's the opposite.
Okay.
But if he's virtuous, you would assume he's looking for a woman with virtue. So if the woman is tailoring the virtue to the man who has virtue, and he figures this out, he's going to get super pissed, right? That's the idea here. Yeah.
That would be really confusing and difficult as a man.
How about this? Have any of you done, this is like a step further even. And there's been a bunch of like Reddit threads on this that we've reacted to. Actually, I feel like we should just pull it up.
I feel like we should do the pickle jar.
Well, she's outside. We'll do that in just a second, but I'm going to get something pulled up, Damien, for you to...
By the way, we got it. You know, I feel like we got to raise a little bit in super chats for the pickle jar. I feel like we got to get to...
It was very pricey.
Yeah, we got to get to $750 for this pickle jar. Send them in, boys. Send them in.
Let's see.
So that we can watch them struggle with the pickle jar. I want to see it. I do want to see it.
I'm trying.
That would be very interesting.
Here it is. I'm going to send this to you, Damien. We'll get that pulled up in just a sec. It's something we've reacted to a couple different times. It is interesting, though, but it kind of like takes it a step further. But I mean, on this, it's kind of like, it would be kind of like, how about this? A guy who, for the girls that he just wanted to like fuck really quickly and never talk to again, like he did the most for those girls. So the girls that he just wanted to have sex with once and then ghost after, he took them on like really fancy dinner date, treated them really well, did all the chivalrous stuff, opens the car door for them. Let's see what else. He got them flowers and did all this. And then, but for the girl who like is worthy of a relationship, he does none of that. He'll take you to McDonald's. He'll kind of be a bit aloof. Not
There's
really.
guys like that.
Sure.
Wait. So
sure. Let's say there is.
Not a lot, but
let's say there is. Wouldn't that send exactly the opposite signal from your view?
It should, 100%.
But it doesn't.
No, it does.
But it's not. I guess the like would put yourself in the shoes of that woman. So, you find out that not just bird's eye view, but you're going through this experience. This is a guy you really like, and he claims he really likes you, but he's kind of been a bit aloof. He's not really responding to you very quickly. He's taking you on like really low effort dates, or he's just like, just come over and we'll just watch Netflix, whatever. And then you find out that the last 3 women he dated, and there's been no material.
He was giving him the sun, the moon, and the stars.
There's been no
Saturn
material,
too. Yeah.
no material change whatsoever to his finances, anything like that. But his last 3 girlfriends, he would take them on trips to Hawaii, and he would.
So why are you
nice
Burger King
dates.
girl?
Burger King.
Yeah, why are you McDonald's girl?
Wait, McDonald's? No, I'm not. I'm not.
I'm not saying you are. I'm saying
well, you could take me to Petco on
I'm
a
just
first
saying
date,
the point
but,
is like if you found out that the
No, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, you'd be
I'd
fucking
livid.
pissed.
I'd be pissed.
And you would be like,
hella
what the
pissed.
fuck is going on here?
Like it makes no sense.
Yeah, it makes no
I'd
sense.
be pissed, 100%. If I found out the guy that I like did X, Y, Z for another girl.
Yes, and
then for me, he's like, nah. Here's some
And
McDonald's.
but then
what about my McDonald's? What about my McDonald's?
Can we split it?
But then when you confront him about this, he's like, no, you don't understand. I really like you.
It's like the games
They
for me.
didn't matter.
It's the games.
They didn't matter.
We're all just playing games with each other.
Really like you.
We're all just playing games with each other.
Yeah, except the difference is men
That's
don't
such
do
cope.
that.
That's
Is it not
such
true? I'm not saying
cope.
everyone, but I'm saying like society has kind of turned into like when a guy, I'll ask my friends like something hypothetical, and they're just like, oh, he's playing hard to get, or like, oh, this, and I'm
It's
like,
just-
but why if he
listen.
knows I like him, like why would we have to play a game?
Listen, it's hope. Okay, so, to be perfectly frank, it's hope. The idea is, I fucked a bunch of dudes before you, but now I'm gonna tailor my sexuality to your virtue because I really like you, right? That's hope.
Okay.
The same way you would see it as the guy, right? You'd be like, dude, you bought this chick flowers and flew her out to, fucking Peru, and she didn't even give it up, nothing, right? And you're taking me to fucking McDonald's? Like, what are you thinking? You would say the same shit. You'd be like, you're coping super hard, right?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, so I mean, the whole idea, right into the mic, by the way, the whole idea here is just to say, like, look, the choices that you make have significant ramifications on future partnerships. This is one such way we can just demonstrate easily. If a dude did that in reverse, of course you're going to be like, what the fuck is wrong
It's
with
a
this guy?
mind fuck for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a hypothetical for your hypothetical.
I want to hear it.
All right, let's hear
Okay,
it.
so say that you are a woman who has been promiscuous before, and you've had slept with people on first dates, and then you meet a guy, and he's a Christian, and he has Christian values, and he wants to wait, and you think, wow, I really like this guy and I want to be with him, so I'm willing to wait for him. Do you think that you would still have that
Nope.
guy would still have the same reaction?
No.
Okay.
No, he would be following a different ethical standard.
Okay.
However, the woman could still be faking virtue.
But
So
if
the
she
woman-
decides to change her mind, if she's like, wow, like you're
Sure,
right,
if
I
she
should
has
not.
if she has a legitimate change of heart,
Mhm.
I don't know how you would be able to tell that, right? But if she had a legitimate change of heart, he may instantly say, "Great, right? You're following the same ethics, virtues that I am."
Mhm.
This is not the case we're talking about, though. But I'll just go ahead and grant this: Christian men have to deal with this conundrum all the time.
I bet.
The idea of, yeah, you have a pretty promiscuous past, but now you're suddenly a Christian when you happen to meet me and like me a lot, right? And I don't have all of these past demons. It's a lot to ask, right? It's a big ask.
Well, I only said that because so my most recent ex was is a Christian, and so we waited for.
Why was he with a vegan?
We-
That's bizarre.
We had a long history like before then, but we had never like been intimate with each other. And so when we started dating, we waited for a pretty long time before being intimate with one another.
Yeah.
And he knew about my past. He knew that I'd slept with people before, but he wasn't like, oh, why did she sleep with them and not me?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's the reason I bring that up, is because that situation did apply.
So there's going to be cases, many cases, where Christians end up with women who are promiscuous, or end up with women with a checkered past, or end up with any number of these different things. They're not going to hold that against you.
Right.
They're going to hold the false virtue against you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The
That-
distinction there.
Yeah, totally.
And so it's like, but in modernity, how does a modern Christian man navigate that?
Right.
I have no fucking idea, and neither do they.
Yeah.
And then we had that thing to react to. Can we pull that up? Also, let's do Twitch first, guys. All right. Lucy Goosey, let me have you read this.
I'm unsure if I should tell my boyfriend this information. I've recently gone official with a man I've been dating for a couple months. He's kind, respectful, and considerate, and I really think that he could be the one. But something is eating at me. I wanted to build slowly with this man, so we didn't become intimate until after going exclusive. But between the first date and that point, I did see an old friends with benefits a couple times. Back then, I didn't think anything of it, as I wasn't exclusive. But I underestimated how much I would care for my boyfriend, and I feel almost like I've cheated on him. Have I done something wrong? And do I need to tell him? Will he end things with me? Do you want me to read the update?
Scroll down a bit. There's read it.
Oh, sorry. Update. There was mixed reactions here, but my gut told me I should tell my boyfriend. He said, sorry, I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who does that. Then he blocked me on everything.
Okay, so she asks, have I done something wrong? Do I need to tell him? Will he end things with me? Going around the table, your thoughts on that, if you want to.
I don't think so. If she stopped doing that is like when they went exclusive. She underestimated how much she'd like him. She didn't know how it would turn out.
You don't think she did anything wrong?
Well, no, they weren't together, so how could it be cheating? I think the guy was being a little bit dramatic, but hey,
Okay.
if that's what his standards are.
Sure, we'll let everybody answer before we
Yeah.
give our response.
Personally, from like my values, like I kind of, for me, it's like I'm not testing them, but it's just because that's how I am. I'm not going to tell a man he has to be exclusive with me. I kind of expect it. I obviously voice that I'm exclusive, and if I found that out like after, and I was felt like falling for this guy and catching feelings, and I was exclusive to him, and I was vocal that I wasn't dating around, and I found out he was sleeping with an old friends with benefits, 100%, I'd probably break up with him if I found that out.
I wouldn't really mind it because with my own way of looking at relationships, like I feel like there needs to be an official communication and title of things being exclusive. If there's not, I feel like it's free.
So she didn't do
Can
anything
you
wrong?
tilt your mic that way?
So she didn't do anything wrong, right?
No.
No. Okay.
I disagree. I think she did do something wrong, and that's why she feels guilty for it. Like, why else would you be like writing like this is like this post is just proof that she feels guilty and that she is guilty because she clearly felt bad about it because she did something wrong. So
what did she do wrong?
I know that they didn't like they weren't exclusive or whatever, but if you're talking to someone, you need to make it clear that you're either hooking up or you're like dating. You can't just be like, oh, well, I don't know what we are. It's like, that's not how that works. You need to communicate with people. That's why these things happen, because they don't communicate. And that's her fault for not communicating that.
Also, if you think he's the one, then why would you be sleeping with your old friends with benefits? It just doesn't make sense.
That's fair. Oh, no. I think like if they weren't dating and they like weren't exclusive, she didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
She didn't do anything wrong.
I think she did something wrong.
Okay, what about you?
I think she did something wrong.
Pull it back up really quick. Okay. Here's what she did wrong.
Oh.
Y'all are wrong. You guys are just wrong. Sorry. Here, pull it back up. Okay. If you skip to the line where it says, I wanted to build slowly with this man, so we didn't become intimate until after going exclusive. But between the first date and that point, I did see old friends with benefits a couple of times.
I missed that part. That's fucked. That's so fucked.
So she told him, she was virtue signaling, that she wanted to build slowly with him.
That's
so
even
essentially
worse.
she lied to him. She said, I want to build slowly. Sex is this like cherishable thing that really cherishable
cherishable
a chariot
Charitable.
cherishable
Yes.
yes
That.
cherishable so she wanted to build slowly with this man, so while he was taking her out on dates, and it could have, we don't know all the details, right? But I think it would be fair to say here that he wanted to smash, and she was like pumping the brakes. She was pumping the brakes, saying, no, like, I want to build slowly. Meanwhile, she, friends with benefits who she didn't build slowly with, she was giving pussy to this dude while this other sucker was taking her on dates, doing a little ass out hug at the end of the date, little kiss on the lips, and then she goes and sucks some other dude's cock.
But if it's an old friends with benefits, it means it's someone that she's gotten with before. So I wonder if that changed. Does that change anything
still
for you?
told the guy she wanted to build slowly and be
She
exclusive
told him
at some point.
She told him,
Like,
did they establish a relationship? Did they both together said, okay,
There
let's
was
be?
no. So yes, there was not an
both
overt.
sides.
There was not a conversation about exclusivity.
Well, then there you go.
But
She didn't
yeah,
do
but it's, yeah, you're trying to loophole it. But she said, I want to build slowly, which would imply that she's not fucking another dude while she's dating him.
Wanting something doesn't necessarily mean, like, we can want something, but do we get that do we get what we want in the end?
She did.
How does this not make
She got
sense?
both men.
He broke up with her because she did tell him because she felt guilty.
Yeah, but she had both of them
Should she have
at one
kept it a
point.
secret?
Well, but they weren't exclusive.
Let me ask you a question. Would you have kept it a secret?
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yes.
My thing is, if my partner,
Would you have kept it a secret?
Would I've kept? Well, yes, because it's not. If we're not dating,
They are dating. They're just not.
Wait. So
they
wait,
said they were dating. They were
bring
dating.
out the pickles.
They were dating. They just weren't like.
She said
Did
boyfriend
she
and girlfriend.
specifically? Can you pull it up, please?
Sure. It wasn't technically official, is my understanding.
Yeah.
Yes,
But they were
technicality.
Because, hold on.
But she clearly communicated that she didn't want to become intimate.
I've recently gone
until
so
going
here.
exclusive.
Wait.
I've recently gone official with a man I've been dating for a couple months, indicating that they were like dating for a couple months, but it had not been official.
So So she's been courting with him.
Yes,
They've been in a
but
courtship.
she said, I wanted to build slowly with this man. So we didn't have sex until after going exclusive. So for months, this guy was taking this chick on dates, thinking she was the type of woman to wait for sex. So she was kind of misleading him to some degree. All the while she was building slowly and building towards this, like, I guess, big thing, like this meaningful relationship, she was getting her back blown out by her friends with benefits.
Okay, I see where your point is. However, I'm going to disagree because of the thing I want to say. They've been dating. He's been courting her. When you're dating somebody, you didn't establish a title with that person. You have free game with whoever you want to be with. Just because they went on dates for a couple of months does not negate the fact that he didn't say, "Will you be my girlfriend?" And now in the text, did it state in the text that he asked to be his girlfriend?
Wait.
It just says that they were dating for a couple months and then they recently went official.
Dating, I mean, well, okay, so...
But just to be clear, the argument here is not that she cheated on him.
Okay, but...
The argument here is that she
misled.
Was like, I made this guy wait months to hit, claiming, like, trying to feign virtue. Meanwhile, she was, like, getting fucked by her friends with benefits.
Yeah. I don't.
That's
think
the issue.
That's
you don't think it's wrong
because it's there.
Did you do that to your husband?
There's no establishment.
No, hold on. Did you do that? Did your husband?
No, I didn't do that to my husband.
Did your husband like hit right away? Or?
No, he told me first that he was talking to somebody. He came to me. Before we even started dating and before we even started courting with each other, he told me, "Hey, I am talking to somebody." If she would have said that to him if she would have said that to the guy in the beginning, then I would. She
didn't
like,
though.
She didn't because it was her choice. She chose not to say anything.
She chose to lie.
It's like it's his
because she
choice to
wanted
leave her.
to slowly build a
She wanted to
relationship.
manipulate. She
Not
was
ma-
manipulating the
not
situation on
manipulating
purpose.
the
100%
situation.
manipulation.
She was
It's not
manipulating. Yes, it is. That's exactly what manipulation
100%
is.
Calm down, baby girl, because I'm not trying to.
Girl, you're frustrating me.
But I'm just.
W.
I'm just trying to say, if they were courting, if they were dating for a couple of months, okay, dating could mean boyfriend and girlfriend, and to your guys' eyes, dating is boyfriend and girlfriend. To me, dating is courting, okay? If he has not established we're boyfriend and girlfriend, then I say she has free game. She does not have to tell him her every move on what she does with another man. However, she did feel guilty because she wanted to build that relationship with this man.
Let me ask you. Can I ask you a question? So you have this guy that you really like, right?
Okay.
And he tells you, hey, like, I don't want to be intimate with you. Like, exactly what the situation is, okay? I don't want to be intimate with you until I have decided that, like, you're the one I want to be with. But in order to do that, I got to sleep with this other girl first. How would that make you feel?
Well, you can't be with anyone else. And then, like, I'm going to...
Well, who's to say that? The thing about
insinuating I want to wait, and like that means like I'm very holy. I want to wait, and you have to court me. You have to take me on dates every single weekend, spend your money and your time, and I'm gonna make you think that you're courting me and I'm the only person that you're talking to until you get to the point where we're in a relationship. But because I really just wanted to hook up with other guys, and I was making you wait, I'm gonna go hook up with my ex.
But doesn't that happen all the time?
And building a relationship with you and someone I think that could be my husband and someone I think that is treating me well, someone who's a really good guy. That's fucked up.
Also, they were just dating.
But like, saying that you want to build something with someone implies that you're not having sex with other people.
Okay, but did she? Okay, so the thing about it is, was she like with him? Was she with him?
Who cares? Who
cares?
cares?
No,
that's enough of that logic.
Who cares? Why are you? No, I'm just asking a question. I'm just asking a simple question because I would just want to understand: was she at the time effing him while they were dating for a couple of months?
No, that's the whole point.
Okay, then
that's why it's fucked up.
It's fair.
No, because she was making him wait. She was making him wait.
Wait. Whoa.
She's making him earn it while she's literally hooking up with his ex while she thinks could be her husband.
And he probably thinks she's not having sex with anyone.
She said we've been dating for a couple of months. To me, dating is courtship.
I can make this so easy. I can make this really easy. Okay, here.
I'm done.
I'm done. Stop. Okay, let me make this really easy, okay? So here's the scenario. Let's like exit the bird's eye view and go right into like an anecdotal experience. So they're cuddling. The guy who she's not fucking, they're cuddling, and the guy's like, babe, like I really like you, like I wanna have sex, and she says, she lies, and she says, oh, I'm sorry, I'd like to wait a little longer, like I don't do that, like I want to wait.
While she's banging this other guy.
And then hold on. And then that date wraps up at 9 p.m. At 10 p.m., she goes over to the FWB, the Friend with Benefits house. And then she brings him, well, okay, I'm not going to add that part. She just goes over, walks through the door, goes over to his bed, gets into doggy style, and he just fucks her. You don't think there's anything wrong with that?
Did he establish that they were boyfriend and girlfriend?
No.
Okay,
I've
then.
already
So
told you.
I don't think
So
that
there's-
that's wrong.
But she's, okay, again, she tells him in that date moment, yeah, I really like you, but I just want to wait longer to like have sex because, that I just want, yeah. And then later that night, she fucks some dude.
Like, that's lying.
That's so
Do you know what I
disrespectful.
mean?
But, like,
and that's
wait,
you want
but,
that to be your
like,
husband? Something that's a
That
man.
you're
That's
saying
the one.
but that's hypothetical though. You're saying this.
But
on
this
a
actually happened to this
hypothetical.
girl.
But I'm just trying to explain to you guys. She said they've been dating for a couple of months. To me, dating is courtship. I've been trying to say that
So?
to you guys.
Bro, wait, hold on, no, hold on, wait, stop, hold on. Courtship.
Yes.
Courtship, courtship, chivalry, right? You think a woman fucking another dude while you're courting her, you think she's deserving of courtship? Nah, she's for the streets. She's a fucking 304 strumpet, bro. Fuck no. You don't, if you're, hold on. If you're a girl and you think you deserve courtship and you're getting your guts rearranged by some other fucking dude, you're not a lady. You don't get chivalry. You don't get courtship. Back to the streets you go.
Oh, period. That's what he ended up doing to her. Is that correct? That's what he ended up doing to her. Is that correct?
But you're talking courtship.
You're
talking courtship.
But you can never know.
That's
you could
it.
be dating somebody for a couple of months. Like we can have there's a thing called the talking stage. You talk for a guy for 3 months. Is that technically dating?
But if you tell the guy that you want to date him and that you're saving yourself for him for later, and then you go fuck some other dude, that's not honest.
But my thing, okay, but like that's then my question is, because this is what I want to understand: is dating and talking stage the same thing?
But I think that's not even the issue that they're trying to bring up. It's more the fact that she was basically misleading him about what her values are.
Yes.
And I think that it would have been one thing if he was saying, I want to wait. And she said, okay, well, I'm going to go get the pleasure from somewhere else. But he wasn't. It was her saying, I want to wait. So it's kind of like, it's just kind of, it's kind of hypocritical because it's like, it would have been completely one thing if he was the one who was pumping the brakes. And she was like, well, I gotta get it done.
And what about the impression? Like, people talk a lot about, we're just in the talking stage. We haven't got to the commitment stage, this and that. But all of that's based around body language, signals, what we think, the impressions we give each other. And so it's like, what impression was this guy under? He must have been under the impression that it was leading to something, or else why was this chick guilty to begin with? Why did she feel so guilty she posted about it to begin with?
Thank you.
Synth, in the private chat, you're going to have to use your best Osho voice, right? And you're gonna have to say it. It's right there.
Oh no.
Yes, you're gonna have to. Best Osho voice you can possibly come up with. It's an Indian style voice, right? You gotta give yourself the Indian style accent.
Democracy is by the people, for the people, and of the people. But the people are retarded. I'm gonna get canceled for that. I'm out of the
Totally
left.
canceled.
It threw me
You're
out.
totally
It's all your fault,
canceled,
Andrew.
Right?
I bet those glasses make you see better.